Chapter 1151, The Watcher's Arrow. Lin Feng looked at him and smiled. He had broken through to the 8th Tian Qi layer since the last time they saw each other. Now he could destroy the thunder cage with one strike from his wooden stick. Everybody was amazed by his explosive power. "You want to die," said the thunder beast to Yuan Fei furiously. He was instantly surrounded by terrifying purple thunder energies. He then spat out lightning at Yuan Fei. "Be kind to your daddy," said Yuan Fei, raising his wooden stick. The crowd sensed his terrifying and explosive energies. It was as if a mountain had been falling down from the sky again. Kaboom! The terrifying thunders disappeared, destroyed by Yuan Fei's wooden stick. Yuan Fei rose up in the air and a myriad of wooden stick illusion appeared, blotting out the sky and assaulting the thunderous energies. The Thunder Beast was furious as he released even more thunderous energies at the illusion of wooden sticks. Even people in the distance could sense their explosive energies. Those people were beasts, in both senses of the word. Bestial Qi was now dashing to the skies. The purple thunders looked sharp and indestructible. The cultivator had used gold and thunderous energies to cast that spell. Even some Zun cultivators' battles don't look that explosive, thought the crowd, shivering. Lightning continued striking down. It seemed like they destroyed bits of the sky each time. Lightning was striking Yuan Fei as he was standing in the middle of the lightning, using his gigantic destruction rod spell ward them off. That thunder beast is so strong, thought Lin Feng. Yuan Fei was already incredibly strong. He was a high-level Tian-level beast whose strength and attacks were explosive, but that thunder beast could actually compete with him. Who exactly was his ancestor? The remaining cultivators were now closing in on Lin Feng. Even though they were surprised that Yuan Fei and Lin Feng were friends, they were still reluctant to give up Lin Feng's fate seeds and holy weapons. The young man who was wearing fine golden clothes released his own fire energies and an illusory golden crow appeared. They couldn't let him fight alone. Lin Feng had too many precious treasures, so they wanted their share the prizes. "You've already surrounded me. If you attack me now, we'll be enemies and you will have to pay the price for it," said Lin Feng, raising his bow. Everybody looked at him again. Was he serious? Did he really think he was going to survive? He had only broken through to the 5th Tian Qi layer and was surrounded by incredible cultivators who wanted to kill him. Bzzz, the guy with the golden crow heard Lin Feng, but didn't take him seriously. His golden crow absorbed energies from the sun and moved towards Lin Feng like a shooting star. Lin Feng condensed sun energies in his arrows and prepared to shoot one. However, at that very moment, a terrifying strength suddenly appeared. Lin Feng frowned and saw an arrow appear in the sky in front of him. Boom boom. The golden crow started burning and was destroyed. The attackers all frowned as another buzzing sound was heard. Another arrow appeared, but it didn't contain the same terrifying energies. This one was moving towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng was confused. He looked at the small dazzling arrow move towards him and frowned. It didn't seem like it was meant to harm him, so Lin Feng let the arrow hit him. The dazzling golden arrow crashed onto Lin Feng's body, but he didn't feel anything. The arrow just penetrated into his body. A tiny bit of blood appeared, which then turned into a golden thread of blood. "What's that?" The crowd was astonished. The crowd in the distance was just as surprised too. A protector's arrow. A protector had shot that golden arrow at Lin Feng. That was the first protection arrow which had been shot since the beginning of the event. How come? There were so many strong cultivators. All of them were geniuses. For example, Yuan Fei, the Great Ape Emperor's grandson, the Thunder Beast who also had a terrifying background, the Celestial Girl Shui Bai Yao, the one with the golden crow, but the protector didn't shoot at any of them. Instead, he shot at a cultivator of the 5th Tian Qi layer. The others' geniuses all hoped the protector would shoot an arrow at them. Not only did it mean that they would be protected, but it also meant that they had the potential to become emperors. The fact that the protector had shot a golden arrow at Lin Feng meant that he thought Lin Feng had the potential to become an emperor. Lin Feng was confused. A protection arrow? He didn't even know who the protector was. He had seen him once in Sword City, but that was all. Lin Feng didn't understand why the protector would choose him either. They gazed into the distance and looked at the crowd in the horizon, looking for the protector. However, they saw nothing. The Watcher was an adept at hiding, that was one of his secrets to protecting people. The Watchers and the Imperial Assassin Union's assassins were both experts at hiding. Because of the Watcher's arrow, Yuan Fei and the Thunder Cultivator also stopped fighting. The Thunder Beast, however, looked furious. His hair was messy, his body was surrounded by dazzling purple lights. A moment before, Yuan Fei had hit him 81 times with his wooden stick. That was his gigantic destruction rod spell and he hadn't managed to block it that well. "Little crow, you're a bad boy too, I'll be your daddy and pluck you like a little chicken," said Yuan Fei while raising his wooden stick. The crow cultivator's eyes were suddenly filled with flames. A gigantic golden crow appeared from his back and cawed. "Jin Xing, let's join hands and kill that boy and the stupid Watcher as well. We'll take their fate seeds and their holy weapons," said the Thunder Beast while flapping his wings. "Try if you dare," said a cold voice. They turned around and watched girl in white clothes approach them. Chapter 1152, Wife and Husband Joining Hands. The crowd was speechless when they saw that girl. She looked like a goddess. They looked at Shui Baiyao and compared both girls. Shui Baiyao looked beautiful and did have a certain celestial appearance, but that new girl surpassed her by far. Meng Qing was a breathtaking beauty. When Lin Feng saw Meng Qing, he shook his head. She landed next to him. Lin Feng stretched out his hand, tickled her nose and smiled. "I knew you'd come. But you know, I can handle this matter myself." Even those people were terrifyingly strong, Lin Feng didn't mind using Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword and kill them all with it. That way, he would obtain millions of gems. He would probably obtain many high-level holy weapons as well. But Lin Feng feared that if he killed all those people, he would be in danger in the outside world. Ba Huang province was vast, but people would still find him there. Even though killing anyone was fine in Fortune City, people still had to avoid killing anyone with a strong backing. Sometimes, even in Fortune City, it was better to hide. Meng Qing looked so docile and affectionate when she saw Lin Feng's warm and tender smile. She also smiled in a warm and gentle way. They were all jealous, they were all prestigious and proud young men. Why didn't they have such an incredible wife? And Lin Feng did. "Lin Feng, who is she?" asked Yuan Fei, scratching his head. Lin Feng had a lot of good fortune with his love affairs. "My wife," said Lin Feng, smiling. Everybody felt even more jealous and envious when they heard that. "Ha, I see, that's my little sister then. You guys are a perfect match," said Yuan Fei, smiling fatuously. Meng Qing looked at him and nodded politely. She had been out of the Black Wind Mountain for a while now, so she had understood human customs a lot better now. Meng Qing turned around and looked at the Thunder Cultivator coldly. The Thunder Beast felt like he was going to freeze under that glare. Meng Qing's cold look pierced his bones. Incredible, that beautiful girl could make him feel that way with just one look. Snowflakes appeared in the air, practically a blizzard of them. Some people stretched out their hands and touched the snowflakes, and found that just one of those snowflakes could freeze them solid. What kind of skill had that girl studied? Bzzz. Suddenly, Meng Qing disappeared. Many people thought that they were hallucinating. Then, at the same time, the Thunder Cultivator sensed an incredible coldness wash over him. It was as if he was going to freeze to death. Kaboom! He released terrifying purple lightning energies, and at the same time, someone appeared in front of him. It was Meng Qing. Meng Qing punched the air in his direction, but it was just a normal-looking punch. But in that instant, the thunderous energies started to freeze. "Coward!" said Lin Feng mockingly. He was angering the Thunder Beast on purpose. "Die, I could kill you like a little insect," said the Thunder Cultivator. Then, he heard Lin Feng laugh and say, "If I were you, I would get ready to be humiliated." Yuan Fei was right when he said you were crap. You want to die, shouted the Thunder Cultivator furiously. He was more than furious as he threw lightning at Lin Feng. Empty space bestial illusion technique, said Lin Feng as the thunders crashed onto him. At the same time, Meng Qing appeared and punched the air in his direction. He started freezing and at the same time, Lin Feng's empty space bestial illusion technique reappeared again as he shot another arrow. Lin Feng didn't need to say anything, Meng Qing disappeared again and Lin Feng's arrow aimed at the Thunder Beast. Roar! The Thunder Beast roared, but he couldn't escape anymore. Golden and purple lights appeared in front of him, which turned into an animal's arm and then into a body. Bestial chi dashed to the skies. Roar! The beast was pushed back. He was in pain and blood was dripping from his claws. The arrow hasn't broken yet, so blood continued pouring. Chapter 1153, Yuan Fei's Fury. The Thunder Beast was actually a golden thunderbird. Thunderbirds possessed incredible abilities. His father was an emperor, so after breaking through to the Zun Qi layer, he would immediately understand 3 types of abstruse energies. His claws were as hard as iron. However, that sword still managed to make his claws bleed. Bzzz. Fire continued burning from Lin Feng's arrows and he didn't stop. He shot even more arrows. At the same time, Meng Qing was in the distance and was punching the Thunderbird into an icicle. Break! Shouted the Thunderbird furiously. Bestial chi dashed to the skies as the gigantic bird broke out of the ice again, but at the same time, Lin Feng's arrows arrived. With his wings, he created a tornado which moved towards Lin Feng and Meng Qing. Pfff, Kacha, the Thunderbird spat out thunders in the direction of Lin Feng's arrows. At the same time, another sound was heard. A black arrow which contained destructive energies was flying at the Thunderbird. He put his claws in front of him and attacked the black arrow head-on. Ah! The Thunderbird gave a horrible shriek. The crowd looked at him and saw that the black arrow was stuck in his claws, he couldn't control his energies anymore. The Watcher is attacking again, thought the crowd shivering. The Watcher's arrows were terrifying. Even the Thunderbird found it difficult to face them. You all want to die, shouted the Thunderbird furiously. Lin Feng continued rising up in the air, his hands were shining under the sunlight. He was firmly holding his bow as he said, you all came here to kill me for my fate seeds, but you won't take them now. Even if you really could kill me, I'd give them to Yuan Fei before I let that happen. Besides, that crappy Thunderbird has more fate seeds than me. Die! When the Thunderbird heard Lin Feng say he was crappy, golden and purple shot out at Lin Feng again. At the same time, he turned into a beam of light and threw himself at Lin Feng. He continued crashing into Lin Feng's arrows. His body looked like a sharp sword which wanted to lacerate Lin Feng. What an incredible body, thought the crowd. Some beasts had inherent abilities. Only peerless cultivators or people with incredibly special abilities could compete with such beasts. That Thunderbird's ancestor was an emperor, so it made sense that he was so proud and arrogant. He had never faced such a difficult fight. Now, he was injured and had gone insane. Did you think I wouldn't fight you still? Shouted Yuan Fei furiously. He shook his wooden stick and illusory, gigantic, black wooden sticks appeared, blotting out the sky again. Die! Shouted Yuan Fei furiously. He used his gigantic destruction rod spell again. People couldn't see wooden sticks anymore, all they could see was a gigantic mountain range falling down from the sky. Boom boom boom. The ground was shaking. Yuan Fei was in a frenzy. His mountains continued colliding with and bombarding the Thunderbird, each strike was more powerful than the previous one. Frenzy, the crowd was watching Yuan Fei. Everybody knew that the great ape emperor loved fighting. Apes were incredible warriors, and with the gigantic destruction rod spell, they were even more powerful. Apart from their belligerent personality, brutal temper, and incredible gigantic destruction rod spell, they also had another special skill: they could activate a frenzy mode and turn into a mad ape. At that moment, Yuan Fei had activated that mad ape rage. Roar! The Thunderbird was starting to falter. Terrifying hurricanes surrounded his golden body as he turned around and started running away. He wanted to avoid those falling mountains, so he rose up in the air. Lin Feng looked at the bleeding Thunderbird, but didn't seem satisfied. He didn't underestimate the geniuses from Ba Huang. My cultivation level is too low, whispered Lin Feng. At the same level, he didn't fear anyone, but because against people had higher cultivation levels than him, he couldn't manage. The Thunderbird, Yuan Fei, and so on were incredible cultivators. They could easily destroy ordinary Zun cultivators. Lin Feng still remembered that Yuan Fei, when he had only broken through to the 7th Tian Qi layer, could actually threaten Zun cultivators. Lin Feng was convinced that Yuan Fei and the Thunderbird could easily destroy cultivators at the 1st Zun Qi layer. Lin Feng could only rely on his holy weapons to injure cultivators like the Thunderbird. Without them, without abstruse energies, without a higher cultivation level, he couldn't do much. Yuan Fei, I'll kill you sooner or later, said the Thunderbird coldly. Then, he looked at Lin Feng and said, we'll see how long you'll be able to hide behind other people. After that, he flapped his wings and left. Meng Qing landed next to Lin Feng and looked at the crowd in a cold way. Yuan Fei tapped the ground with his wooden stick and said to the crowd, because you're too weak to get the Thunderbird's fate seeds, you decided to steal my brother's? If anyone else attacks him, they won't leave this place alive. The beautiful girl was incredibly strong, the Watcher had protected Lin Feng, and now Yuan Fei. Plus Lin Feng's holy weapons, that was starting to be quite an army. Not only were they strong, but offending them would probably have consequences in the future, especially Yuan Fei. Besides, Lin Feng had told them that even if they killed him, he still could give his fate seeds to Yuan Fei and then nobody would steal them from him. Hee, there will be many other opportunities in the future to obtain fate seeds in Fortune City, all of this is just starting, said someone as they left. Then, people gradually followed suit. It was important to keep in mind that the diviner held everything under control in Fortune City. Nobody knew what would happen. So, it was also better not to waste time right now. But as soon as the crowd turned around to leave, Lin Feng took out his flag and sealed the space around them. Holding his bow, he jumped forwards and looked at the crowd in the distance. He smiled coldly and said, since you guys like fishing in troubled waters and taking advantage of a crisis for personal gain, I will now take all of your fate seeds. Chapter 1154, If you want to kill me, I'll kill you. In the distance, the crowd looked at Lin Feng raising his bow and their facial muscles twitched. Did he want to steal their fate seeds after all of that? Yuan Fei looked surprised and then smiled. He struck the ground with his wooden stick and jumped forwards. Kacha sound spread resonated in the distance as a gigantic canyon appeared. The crowd in the distance sensed that strength moving towards them. You're all worthless insects, I'll give you 10 seconds to hand over your fate seeds, and if you don't blame me for acting violently, shouted Yuan Fei. His voice echoed in the distance and made the crowd shake. They only had 10 seconds. Bzzz, some people's silhouettes flickered as they tried to escape. Dazzling swords moved towards them and explosions sounded. They weren't like the Thunderbird or Long Teng, they couldn't resist Lin Feng's sunset bow. One person already died. 7 seconds, said Lin Feng. The fate seeds of the person who had just died appeared in Lin Feng's third eye. He was merciless, but that was the law of the jungle. Some people had decided to teleport themselves to Lin Feng, so now, they were going to pay the price for it with their fate seeds. Some people's faces turned deathly pale. Lin Feng raised his bow again and Yuan Fei was slowly rising up in the air. Some people decided to give their fate seeds to Lin Feng without resisting. 3 more seconds, said Lin Feng. Their hearts started racing as they took out their fate seeds as well. Then, their fate seeds quickly began to gather in Lin Feng's third eye. Lin Feng now had 550,000 gems. All those people who had come to take his fate seeds already had a lot, all those people together held more than 200,000 gems. 5 green-blue lights appeared in Lin Feng's third eye. Lin Feng sensed those energies which began to strengthen his physical body. The animal was right, if I manage to get blue seeds, my physical body will start changing. If I manage to get purple seeds, I might even be able to resist against those Thunderbird's energies, thought Lin Feng. He suddenly had many ideas. But in any case, he needed fate seeds. Piss off, said Lin Feng to all those people who had handed over their fate seeds. Then he put his flag away and the crowd looked at him coldly before leaving. Lin Feng gazed into the distance. He wanted to see if he could find the Watcher, but there was nobody there. Thank you, said Lin Feng smiling at Yuan Fei. One would know who their true friends were in two kinds of circumstances, when in trouble, and when in need of something. Fate seeds were important to everyone in Fortune City, but Yuan Fei didn't ask Lin Feng for any of them. He gave them all to Lin Feng. Why the hell did you thank me? You need fate seeds more than I do, take mine too, said Yuan Fei. He had 70,000 gems himself. No need, said Lin Feng shaking his head. Even though Yuan Fei was the Great Ape Emperor's grandson and had access to many incredible treasures, there were things which were priceless in Fortune City. He couldn't give up his fate seeds. I need to kill some people, can you help me, said Lin Feng. Yuan Fei thought for a few seconds and said, let's go to the shrine. Meng Qing. Lin Feng didn't need to say much to Meng Qing, he just had to look at her or smile at her and she understood what he intended. The three of them left, they had no time to look for the Watcher. Who knew when the diviner would interrupt them? Lin Feng guessed that Fortune City was a small world, a terrifying one at that. Maybe terrifyingly strong cultivators controlled Fortune City. According to Cheong Chi's hypothesis, nobody could imagine how terrifying that place truly was. Those three flew quickly and soon arrived at the shrine, then entering it. When the old man saw Lin Feng, he immediately said, someone is looking for you. He shook his hand and Lin Feng disappeared. When Lin Feng reappeared, he saw someone he knew. His body was dazzling and that person was smiling coldly. You're fast, said Lin Feng. Since Long Teng had made him teleport once, he knew that other people would do the same to him. Because of those people, Lin Feng wouldn't have any opportunities to use the shrine. If I weren't quick, how would I be able to take your fate seeds, said his interlocutor smiling in a cold and detached way. I said it earlier, I'll kill anyone who dares attack me. Apart from the Thunderbird, you're the only one who had attacked me before, said Lin Feng. That person was the Golden Crow, the Thunderbird who had asked him to join hands to fight Lin Feng. You're not a bad fighter, but your cultivation level is too low, said Jin Xing releasing dazzling golden flames. Two beams of light appeared, making Jin Xing frown. Those people were Yuan Fei and a beautiful girl who had arrived at the same time. You were prepared, said Jin Xing staring to Lin Feng coldly. Then, he threw himself at Lin Feng and turned into a golden crow. Bzzz. Lin Feng moved back and took out his halberd. This time, he didn't use his sunset bow because he was too close to Jin Xing. Snowflakes appeared as Meng Qing disappeared and a piercingly cold energy invaded the space. At the same time, Yuan Fei released his own terrifying energies. Jin Xing frowned, he knew he was in trouble now. I'm off, said Jin Xing. He turned around, rose up in the air and started to run away. Lin Feng smiled in a cold way, he was definitely going to kill him. Seal, said Meng Qing. At that moment, a holy, celestial qi surrounded Jin Xing's body. Meng Qing appeared in front of him and sealed the space around him with ice. Boom boom. Jin Xing wanted to break the ice, but the ice layer was too thick. His body had also started to freeze. Brother, sister, move aside, shouted Yuan Fei furiously. His wooden stick fell down from the sky, leaving a black trail behind it as it moved towards Jin Xing. Godly crow flames, shouted Jin Xing furiously. Golden flames appeared as he turned into a crow god, bathing in flames. His flames sufficed to make the ice melt. However, the gigantic wooden stick struck him and broke several of his bones. I told you not to bully my brother and sister, Jin Xing. In Fortune City, nobody will care about your death. Let's have some roasted crow for dinner. Roar! Yuan Fei roared and a gigantic ape appeared from his back. The ape was holding a wooden stick which was 100 meters long. Die! Shouted Jin Xing furiously. Golden and fire energies flooded the sky as a real golden crow was about to appear. He wanted to block the wooden stick, but the golden crow knelt down and blood splashed everywhere. At the same time, Meng Qing got close again, so Jin Xing had no time to react. She released ice and cancelled Jin Xing's fire. You asked for it, said Lin Feng. He jumped forwards with his halberd which now contained demon, fire, and desolate strength. He struck Jin Xing's head with his halberd. Something stopped the halberd as it crashed onto Jin Xing's head. However, Yuan Fei and Meng Qing attacked again, and with that, Lin Feng's halberd pierced through Jin Xing's skull. They were definitely going to kill him. Chapter 1155, Traveling and Working. Jin Xing looked furious. He couldn't believe that he'd die in Fortune City. He thought his life would change after Fortune City. He was one of the most incredible geniuses present at the event. On top of that, he was only dying because he had envied the fate seeds of a cultivator at the 5th Tian Qi layer. Roar! Jin Xing roared. It was the last roar before death. His fire dashed to the skies as well as his golden strength. Lin Feng, get back, shouted Yuan Fei loudly. Lin Feng continued releasing desolate qi into Jin Xing's brain. Jin Xing knew that he was dying. Lin Feng took his halberd out of Jin Xing's skull and moved back. Rumbling sounds and dazzling lights oppressed Lin Feng, making him cough up blood and pushing him down to his knees. Then, Jin Xing stopped breathing. Lin Feng could barely breathe as he wiped the blood from his mouth. Jin Xing had surprisingly attacked Lin Feng while he was dying. However, a sixth fate seed appeared in Lin Feng's third eye. Now he had 600,000 fate seeds. Lin Feng was still not satisfied. That still wasn't enough. Let's go again. If anyone tries to attack you, we'll kill them too, said Yuan Fei aggressively. Surprisingly, Jin Xing had forced Lin Feng to teleport to him. Fine, if people continued to force Lin Feng to teleport to them, they'd continue killing them. That guy probably had a lot of treasures. Even if you don't need them, you can always trade them for fate seeds. Lin Feng found a ring which wasn't broken on Jin Xing's body. He didn't give it to Yuan Fei, not because he was greedy, but because Yuan Fei was an emperor's grandson, so he was rich. Yuan Fei could have anything he wanted, including Peerless holy weapons. However, it seemed like the Great Ape Emperor didn't want Yuan Fei to rely on holy weapons. Therefore, Lin Feng thought that because apart from the black wooden stick, he had never seen Yuan Fei use any other holy weapon. But in any case, that ordinary-looking stick was actually a terrifying weapon. Jin Xing was from the southern part of Ba Huang province and was very famous. According to legends, he had inherited the blood of the golden crow, a supernatural three-legged, golden bird which lived in the sky. Apart from incredible cultivators at the top of the Tian Qi layer, nobody could defeat him. This time we killed him together, but he had asked for it, said Yuan Fei to Lin Feng. The three continued walking. Perhaps more people would try to attack Lin Feng. So then, who are those most incredible cultivators here? Asked Lin Feng to Yuan Fei. He didn't know much about Ba Huang province. He would probably meet those people in Fortune City, but he knew for sure that Yuan Fei was one of them. Lin Feng now had a different opinion about the Ba Huang province. He didn't believe it was that big. When he had just arrived, he met Yang Zilan, who was already considered a genius. Then he met Xian Yuan, who was also considered a genius. Then, he met Yuan Fei, who was a real genius. In the past, Lin Feng admired even ordinary Zun cultivators, but now, he didn't think that way anymore. Ordinary low-level Zun cultivators could easily be defeated by people like Jin Xing. People Lin Feng admired were also people he wanted to surpass. The event in Fortune City was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Lin Feng. No need to talk about them for now. The continent of the 9 clouds is gigantic. Strong cultivators aren't necessarily those who have inherited a strong blood, you probably understand what I am referring to. For geniuses who want to become strong, becoming an imperial cultivation disciple means broader opportunities, better cultivation tools, and more friends of the same level. Then, when emperors attach importance to them, they will receive even more opportunities. Therefore, Ba Huang province's most outstanding young cultivators are those who have received emperor's direct teachings. This time, in Fortune City, you'll meet them, said Yuan Fei talking and walking. I can't wait to see them, thought Lin Feng. But according to Yuan Fei, people like him and the Thunderbird weren't the most outstanding cultivators of Ba Huang, or at least that's what he figured he meant. Maybe they're strong now, but it won't be that way in the future. Recently, several incredible cultivators have appeared in Ba Huang province. Besides, some younger people are also starting to rise up, like you. It's a constant race, so it's too early to know who the best ones are. Only time can tell us those things. If you really want to know, become an emperor and defeat those people, said Yuan Fei. Lin Feng nodded. Lin Feng came from the small country of Shuiyu, in the small Shuiyu region. He understood those things better than most. In Ba Huang province, he wasn't considered a strong cultivator, but in the Shuiyu region he was one of the strongest. In different places, people had different views and different perceptions. Lin Feng was on the right path, so if he wanted to become an emperor, he'd end up fighting those people sooner or later. The 3 of them soon arrived at the shrine again. This time, the old man didn't make Lin Feng leave right away, which meant that nobody had asked for Lin Feng to be teleported. It seems like nobody asked for me this time, said Lin Feng shrugging and smiling. He looked at the old man and said, I need possess an incredibly strong qi, I need to look like I have the strength of the top of the Tian qi layer. Yuan Fei heard Lin Feng and instantly understood what he meant. How sly was this guy? The old man nodded, shook his hand and suddenly, Lin Feng's qi was at the top of the Tian qi layer. Even though it was fake, nobody would know. Lin Feng paid 1,000 gems for that. Lin Feng, I'm off, said Yuan Fei leaving. Lin Feng nodded. Lin Feng had asked Yuan Fei for help because some people wanted to kill him. However, Yuan Fei didn't have time to take care of them both. He had helped him, so now Meng Qing and Lin Feng could protect themselves together. Yuan Fei also needed fate seeds. The old man teleported Yuan Fei to a place with many people. Lin Feng also asked the old man to teleport him and Meng Qing to a place where there were many people, but not to the same place as Yuan Fei. That way, the 3 of them could get even more fate seeds. Lin Feng and Meng Qing appeared somewhere else and Lin Feng's Tianji sword instantly rose up into the sky. Lin Feng and Meng Qing then jumped onto it. Dazzling golden lights appeared as Lin Feng took out his bow, the qi from the top of the Tianqi layer flowed through his body. Let's go. Lin Feng changed his face and his Tianji sword rose up in the air, soon appearing above someone who had a few thousand fate seeds. Lin Feng shouted furiously, give me your fate seeds or I'll kill you. That person sensed Lin Feng's qi and saw his bow. He looked petrified and obeyed. He had no choice but to give his fate seeds if he wanted to live. Lin Feng took the fate seeds and left. He didn't stop as he continued to do that with many more people. A cultivator at the top of the Tianqi layer holding a terrifying bow, riding a holy weapon, and a girl with a celestial qi. People had choice but to hand over their fate seeds. Many people felt dispirited. Some people had already seen Lin Feng's bow before, but now it wasn't the same guy who had it. With a strength at the top of the Tianqi layer, he had probably stolen it and now he was stealing their seeds. How cruel. He had broken through to the top of the Tianqi layer, so why did he need to steal holy weapons too? What infuriated people even more was that he was surfing on a sword which was also holy weapon. What a spoilt brat. Chapter 1156, Insane Demon Lin Feng continued riding his Tianji sword around and stealing fate seeds. People had no choice but to give their fate seeds to him because he was at the top of the Tianqi layer and he had holy weapons, both a sword and a bow. In Fortune City was filled with endless opportunities, so nobody wanted to die there. Losing fate seeds was annoying, but they could still find seeds again. If Lin Feng he stole from 100 people who had 100 gems, that was 10,000. Lin Feng had chosen a place where there were many people on purpose. In half a day, Lin Feng already had 8 blue-green fate seeds and his vitality was changing to become even stronger. 8 blue-green fate seeds, that was 800,000 gems. 2 more fate seeds and Lin Feng would have 1 million gems and his fate seeds would turn blue. Most people didn't realize they could exchange fate seeds for high-level holy weapons. Even if people thought about it though, how many were capable of obtaining 1 million gems? That was a terrifying number. Even if Lin Feng had broken through to the top of the 9th Tianqi layer and had holy weapons, that was still a terrifying number. On his way, Lin Feng encountered other strong cultivators, but they stayed away from him. They could easily get gems from weaker people, so fighting against a cultivator who had 800,000 gems wasn't worth it. Lin Feng didn't care about what people thought, all he concerned himself with was getting more fate seeds. He needed to have more than 1 million gems and then he could go kill some people. There was a girl called Qi Jiao Jiao flying over Fortune City. She was looking for more people to steal fate seeds from, but after she glanced around, she saw nobody. Qi Jiao Jiao was wearing a blue robe, and her fate seeds were a blue-green color with 2 fate seeds. This meant she had 200,000 gems. She had her own way of getting fate seeds, she only stole fate seeds from people who had at least 10,000 gems, that way, she didn't have to work too hard. Finally, she had found her next prey. Bzzz. In the distance, whistling sound was heard. She suddenly turned around and saw 2 people riding a sword in the air. How scary, what a terrifying Qi, thought Qi Jiao Jiao. She looked at the boy's third eye and saw that he already had 8 blue-green seeds, and he was coming towards her. Slash! A terrifying arrow which was on fire was pointing at her. Hand over your fate seeds, said Lin Feng. The girl was beautiful and cute. She was as beautiful as Shui Bai Yao and those other girls. However, Lin Feng didn't care about that right now, he only cared about her 200,000 gems. If he obtained her fate seeds, his fate seeds would turn blue and he would have 1 million gems. You dare steal from me, said Qi Jiao Jiao. His chi was at the top of the Tianqi layer and he had holy weapons, his bow was at least a medium-level holy weapon, the sword he was using to surf on was a holy weapon too. You have 3 seconds, said Lin Feng, trying to scare her. Qi Jiao Jiao's beautiful eyes were twinkling. She had taken such efforts to steal fate seeds, and it was the first time someone thought to steal from her. I will give them to you if you want, but you will definitely regret it, said Qi Jiao Jiao handing over her fate seeds. Bzzz. A terrifying strength suddenly dashed to the skies. Lin Feng now had 1 million gems, so his fate seeds turned into 1 blue seed. The last time he was in the shrine, he hadn't really sensed it because he hadn't taken the time to. Now, he could sense how his body was changing. Most people, if they had a blue seed, would go and exchange it in the shrine. After obtaining Qi Jiao Jiao's fate seeds, Lin Feng's Tianji sword streaked across the sky. He left without even glancing at her. You will regret it, said Qi Jiao Jiao looking at the back of Lin Feng's head. Qi Jiao Jiao was one of the 4 most beautiful girls in the Ba Huang province. She was from a rich family and many men courted her. She also had a big brother who was incredibly strong. Given her talent and position in Ba Huang province, nobody had ever offended her before. Lin Feng didn't think about Qi Jiao Jiao at all. He thought she was beautiful of course, but he didn't know that she was one of the 4 most beautiful girls in Ba Huang province. He also didn't know that she was from one of the most powerful families in the province. They were different from other rich families, the Qi clan was from the eastern part of Ba Huang province and they had an emperor. Lin Feng continued moving around and stealing fate seeds until he had 5 million gems. Finally, he stopped and went to the shrine with Meng Qing. Once in the shrine, Lin Feng took out his Tianji sword and looked at the old man. Master, I need 100 days in a mystical space with thunders. The thunder must be exactly as powerful as this sword can handle. How many fate gems? Show me the place, said the old man calmly. Lin Feng transferred memories to the old man. 550,000 gems, said the old man. For 2 people? Asked Lin Feng again. For the price he was going to pay, Lin Feng hoped Meng Qing could benefit from it too. Add 100,000, said the old man. Lin Feng nodded, he could afford that. I'll exchange this high-level holy weapon first, said Lin Feng handing over the bow. The old man took it and a second blue seed appeared in Lin Feng's third eye. Master, what I asked you just now, let's start, said Lin Feng. The old man shook his hand and in a flash, Lin Feng and Meng Qing were teleported somewhere else. Chapter 1157, Thunderworld. Lin Feng closed his eyes and his facial expression turned serious, then he sat down. His Tianji sword was emitting whistling sounds as it moved towards the dark clouds, the thunders and lightning. Kaboom! A terrifying lightning struck the Tianji sword. As Lin Feng's soul was in the sword too, he sensed the lightning and shook violently. He felt like his soul was going to be kicked out of his body. He spat out blood. Lin Feng, said Meng Qing. Lin Feng's face turned deathly pale and so did Meng Qing's face. Don't come here, shouted Lin Feng as he continued, Meng Qing, do your own things during these 100 days, practice cultivation too. His soul shook again and Lin Feng's body kept twitching. At the same time, his fate seeds continued to nourish his body and regenerate it. The pain was more bearable that way. Lin Feng, Meng Qing was worried about Lin Feng. He was spitting out blood and it looked very painful. I'm practicing cultivation, I'm all right, said Lin Feng smiling. More thunder claps struck Lin Feng while emitting roaring sounds. The technique he was using to raise his sword consisted of nourishing the sword with his own soul strength. As he cleaned his sword with the thunderous energies, he was only developing one soul, he needed several to condense them. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword is like a human, thought Lin Feng. Emperor Wu Tianjian had raised his sword for 10 years, so he must have suffered immensely to become an emperor. For 10 years, nobody knew him, and then all of a sudden, he had amazed the entire Ba Huang province. The skill was terrifying, therefore, not many people practiced it, probably only madmen did. But real geniuses were also, often insane. The Tianji sword continued shaking violently in the dark clouds. Some cracks even appeared on it, but it was enduring the pain. After being cleaned this way, it was also healing and slowly changing. When Meng Qing saw how much Lin Feng was suffering, she turned red with worry. But Lin Feng would smile at her now and then, so she felt relieved. After 3 days of suffering, Lin Feng didn't feel the pain as much as before. His Tianji sword was even more dazzling. The sword had also grown used to being thunderstruck. Even though it was still painful, it wasn't so bad. After 7 days of suffering, Lin Feng felt even more relaxed, he could even stand steadily on his feet and watch his sword be cleaned by the thunder and lightning. Meng Qing looked at Lin Feng's back and smiled in a resplendent way. He wasn't suffering so badly, now he was standing steadily. Lin Feng turned around, smiled in a resplendent way and said, practice cultivation, otherwise, I'll soon surpass you. All right, said Meng Qing nodding. Then, she also started practicing cultivation. She was thinking that if she became stronger, Lin Feng wouldn't need to suffer that much anymore. Of course, that was a woman's thought, she was just worried for her husband. How could a man like Lin Feng let a girl protect him? What he wanted was to protect his wives, family, friends. He wanted to become stronger. 30 days passed. The Tianji sword was easily absorbing those purple thunderous energies. It can now be struck by lightning without any problem, whispered Lin Feng. He slowly walked towards the thunder. Kaboom! When Lin Feng walked to the edge of the thunderous area, a terrifying thunder struck him and he spat out blood as he fell to his knees. However, he didn't emit any sounds because he didn't want to disturb Meng Qing, who was practicing cultivation. 600,000 gems for that, I can't waste any of this. Since my sword is now clean, I have to improve my physical strength too. Even though Lin Feng had blood dripping from the corner of his mouth, he was still smiling. He released demonic energies and used his 3 lives Buddha demon skill. He jumped up in the air and was propelled back to the ground immediately. He did that over and over again. He had already lost so much blood, but at the same time, he could sense that he was becoming stronger from it. Maybe he would be able to understand thunder energies like his sword, then he wouldn't need to use his sword to confront thunderous energies. He continued this thunder training for 30 more days. Demonic strength continued flowing through his body and that lightning never stopped striking him. Finally, he managed to walk further into the clouds where the lightning was even more brutal. Of course, Lin Feng wasn't a holy weapon himself. Even though he had demonic strength and fate seeds, he couldn't bathe in those thunders. He was becoming a lot stronger and even more muscular. Lin Feng didn't know that Meng Qing, who was practicing cultivation next to him, was crying. After 80 days, Lin Feng realized just how much stronger he had become. He had broken through to the 6th Tian Qi layer. Just thinking about it made him laugh to death. Surprisingly, bathing in lightning was therapeutic. 100 days finally passed. Lin Feng had suffered a lot, but he was still disappointed because he wanted to spend more time suffering under those energies. When Lin Feng arrived back at the shrine, there were thunderous energies sparking around his hands. He was smiling in a resplendent way. You've been thunderstruck so many times that you've become stupid, said Meng Qing. Lin Feng was smiling fatuously. He had been struck by thunder so many times and it had been extremely painful, so now he was just smiling fatuously. A few more times and I would have broken through to the next Tian Qi layer again. My physical body is incredibly strong now. Besides, I now understand thunder intent, I even have level 7 thunder intent. I don't mind being thunderstruck a bit more, said Lin Feng smiling. What surprised him the most was that he had learnt thunder intent and even level 7 thunder intent. Of course, Lin Feng was perfectly aware that he had learned how to use thunder intent so fast because he already understood 3 other types of intent. Lin Feng couldn't wait for his Tianji sword to progress even further. His sword had become stronger too. It hadn't become a medium-level holy weapon yet, but soon it would. His sword now had its first soul. It was rudimentary, but still. Chapter 1158, Revenge. After Lin Feng came out, he took back his bow, so now he only had 400,000 gems left. Of course, that was still more than most people, but as before, Lin Feng wasn't satisfied, especially after having had his own blue fate seeds. Lin Feng didn't feel like trading his sunset bow either, it had already become his weapon. Meng Qing, how's your Taoist robe made of feathers? Asked Lin Feng smiling. Meng Qing's clothes were diffusing 7 different colors. It was a high-level holy weapon. With all those lights and her celestial qi, she looked incredible. You look extremely good in it, said Lin Feng laughing. Meng Qing took it off. With that robe, apart from Zun cultivators, nobody could defeat her. Didn't you want to go and kill someone? Said Meng Qing. No hurry. Let him help us get some more fate seeds first, said Lin Feng laughing evilly. Some people wanted to kill him, so he'd be merciless in return. Let's go and find more fate seeds, said Lin Feng taking out his Tianji sword. They surfed in the air riding his Tianji sword again. Lin Feng arrived above someone, took out his bow and shouted, "Give me your fate seeds." That person looked at Lin Feng, his mouth twitched, but he gave them to Lin Feng like a good boy. Lin Feng's Tianji sword streaked across the sky once again, quickly disappearing from that person's field of vision. Damn, He's so fast, thought that person. He had taken great efforts to get a few thousand fate seeds, and in that second, Lin Feng had taken them all. No wonder that guy already had 4 blue-green fate seeds. Lin Feng moved at this speed and continued stealing fate seeds for 2 full days. Wherever Lin Feng had been, nobody was left with fate seeds anymore. Fortune City was incredibly large, so the strongest cultivators were not easy to encounter. If Lin Feng saw someone stronger than him, he avoided them. "It's blue again," whispered Lin Feng. He sensed that indomitable strength in his body again. His fate seeds had turned blue again, so his physical body was becoming stronger without him needing to do anything. "I can easily kill people of the 7th Tian Qi layer now solely relying on my physical strength," thought Lin Feng, clenching his fists. His physical strength now contained thunder energies, plus his demon and Buddha energies. He was extremely muscular. "Meng Qing, do you need anything?" "I can help you," said Lin Feng. He now had more than 1,000,000 gems. Meng Qing just lowered her head. "Nah, I just want you to be happy." "Silly girl," said Lin Feng, caressing her hair and smiling wryly. Meng Qing never had any special requirements, she was just happy to be with Lin Feng. "Let's go to the shrine then, I have some accounts to settle." Lin Feng's Tianji sword streaked across the sky again, in the direction of the shrine. A powerful qi was emerging from his holy weapon. Even though his fate seeds had turned blue, nobody thought to confront him. He still had the qi from the top of the Tian Qi layer after all. In a short time, Lin Feng and Meng Qing were inside the shrine again. "Master, we want to be teleported to that person," said Lin Feng, transmitting a young man's image to the old man. "Go," said the old man, shaking his head. In a flash, Lin Feng and Meng Qing disappeared. Long Teng and Gu Xiao were still together looking for seeds. Long Teng already had more than 400,000 gems and Gu Xiao had more than 200,000. At that moment, Long Teng was holding someone's head and broke their skull. A few thousand gems moved towards Long Teng's third eye. His hands were covered in dragon scales and there were a few corpses around them. Bzzz. Another blue-green seed appeared in Long Teng's third eye. He now had 5 blue-green fate seeds. "Congratulations, soon you'll have 1,000,000, said Gu Xiao, smiling. "When I have 1,000,000, I'll go to the shrine and ask to understand abstruse energies," said Long Teng with twinkling eyes. He wanted to understand abstruse energies more than anything else. "Should I bring you there?" asked Lin Feng. Long Teng and Gu Xiao turned around and saw Lin Feng and Meng Qing standing behind them. Blue fate seeds, they were both incredulous. Lin Feng had more than 1,000,000 gems. Long Teng looked at him greedily and said, "You brought me a gift, how could I refuse?" "Yep, come and take them," said Lin Feng. His flag appeared and he sealed the space around them. Long Teng and Gu Xiao glanced at each other. Lin Feng was sealing himself on purpose. "You want to bring about your own destruction." Long Teng's eyes were twinkling with sharp lights. Long Teng and Gu Xiao already had dragon scales reaching up their arms. "Meng Qing, help me block him first and after I kill him, I'll help you," said Lin Feng, pointing at Long Teng. Lin Feng knew that Meng Qing was an expert at fighting. The nature pill had enhanced her strength beyond belief, and now, she was becoming even stronger. She had broken through to the 7th Tian Qi layer, so she could easily block Long Teng. Snowflakes appeared and froze everything around her. Then, Meng Qing jumped towards Long Teng in a graceful way. At the same time, Lin Feng jumped towards Gu Xiao and the earth and sky were whistling. It was as if Lin Feng was condensing force. Gu Xiao looked at Lin Feng, a bit scared. Lin Feng's qi had the strength at top of the Tian Qi layer. He quickly understood that it was fake, but still, he didn't feel safe. "Die!" shouted Gu Xiao, furiously releasing dragon qi. He then punched the air in Lin Feng's direction. Lin Feng didn't dodge, instead, he continued running towards Gu Xiao and punched the air in his direction as well. "You want to die," shouted Gu Xiao. He was surprised. Lin Feng didn't use any energy, he was simply using pure physical strength to punch him. Kaboom! Their fists collided and Gu Xiao's facial expression changed drastically. How come Lin Feng's physical strength was so explosive? Die! Shouted Lin Feng furiously. Thunder and fire energies emerged from Lin Feng's fist and Gu Xiao was electrocuted. He started shaking violently, forcing himself to move back. I'll kill you, said Lin Feng taking out his halberd. He attacked Gu Xiao with his halberd this time, but Gu Xiao took out his golden bell which collided with the halberd. Bzzz, bzzz, the golden bell shook violently and moved backwards. Gu Xiao could sense energies spilling out from his golden bell as it came back to him. He could barely breathe when Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique and attacked him again. Roar! Gu Xiao's arms turned black and his golden bell resonated as it struck the halberd. However, at that same moment, he raised his head and saw a sharp sword falling down from the sky. That sword contained both fire and thunder energies. Chapter 1159, Strangeness in the Sky. Gu Xiao raised his head and instantly turned pale. That sword was terrifying, it even had its own soul. Bestial shadow, shouted Gu Xiao furiously as he moved backwards like Longting the other day. Tian Long Divine Castle's dragon skills were nothing short of incredible. Piss off, gigantic claws streaked across the sky. Kaboom! Gu Xiao wanted to grab Lin Feng's Tian Ji sword, however, lightning struck his hand and electrocuted him. Then, he started shaking violently again. He couldn't stop Lin Feng's halberd this time, so sent flying. Die! Lin Feng attacked Gu Xiao with his Tian Ji sword again and at the same time, he rose up in the air and took out his bow. Gu Xiao was panicking. He was surprised by Lin Feng's battling style, what a terrifying combo. Boom, his golden bell moved towards the arrows. He could block the arrows, but Lin Feng was also attacking him with the halberd. A light appeared and moved straight towards Gu Xiao, instantly breaking his dragon armor. Gu Xiao groaned. He had tried using almost everything now. Die! Lin Feng was determined to kill Gu Xiao. Bzzz. Gu Xiao stopped fighting, turned around and ran towards Long Teng. He was hoping that Long Teng would protect him, however, Long Teng was fighting Meng Qing and was struggling. At that moment, he was almost completely frozen and could barely move. There was no way he could help Gu Xiao. Slash! Lin Feng punched the air in Gu Xiao's direction, his hands contained both fire and thunder energies. He was also holding his halberd in his other hand. Roar! Gu Xiao's chi became chaotic. He turned around, he wanted to grab the halberd with his dragon armor, but in the end, he couldn't block the halberd. The strength of the halberd penetrated his chest and he groaned coldly. Blood began to spill out of his abdomen. Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique and ran towards him again. Lin Feng's Tian Ji sword fell down from the sky and into his hand. Gu Xiao's heart started pounding violently and he looked terrified. Destroy! Shouted Lin Feng attacking with his sword. Thunderfire streaked across the sky, ripping apart some of the space. Then everything suddenly became calm. Gu Xiao was petrified as a mark appeared on his forehead and blood started spilling out from that mark. No! That was Gu Xiao's last word. Then, his body, cut clean into two. His fate seeds moved towards Lin Feng's third eye, over 200,000 gems. Die! Long Teng punched the air, breaking the ice around him. His eyes were bloodshot. Gu Xiao was dead and Lin Feng had killed him. Go! Lin Feng's Tian Ji sword streaked across the sky towards Long Teng. Thunder and fire energies rolled in waves behind it. At the same time, Lin Feng shot 3 arrows at Long Teng. Dragon body. Long Teng's dragon armor appeared. He quickly turned into a ferocious dragon, his eyes looked even more bestial. Tian Long's dragon body. Lin Feng looked at him coldly. Long Teng was a lot stronger than Gu Shao. And with his armor, he was even stronger. Lin Feng, I'll use my special holy celestial attack on him, get ready to kill him, said Meng Qing using telepathy. Alright, said Lin Feng using telepathy as well. Long Teng was in a frenzy, blocking him with ice was impossible now. At that moment, Meng Qing rose up in the air and released holy, celestial energies. Multicolored clouds appeared and she looked like a goddess. Meng Qing performed some hand seals and suddenly, she disappeared in the snow clouds. A dot then appeared which was pointing at Long Teng. Die, shouted Long Teng chasing Meng Qing. However, as soon as he reached Meng Qing, she had her finger pointing at him. When he touched that finger, he was frozen completely solid. Snow seal, said Meng Qing. Snowflakes were now pouring heavily and they quickly surrounded Long Teng. At the same time, Lin Feng attacked with his halberd and his Tian-Ji sword simultaneously. His halberd was aimed at Long Teng's heart. However, something blocked him. Long Teng's dragon armor was tougher than he thought, his halberd couldn't pierce it. Meng Qing attacked too and punched him, but the same thing happened. Then, Lin Feng attacked with his Tian-Ji sword which contained fire and thunder energies. Lin Feng wanted to cut Long Teng's head off, but it only slightly cut Long Teng as blood appeared inside the ice. Roar, roar, the ice broke. A terrifying strength attacked Lin Feng. Lin Feng and Meng Qing moved back as Long Teng appeared again. He could barely move because the ice was still restricting him. He was bleeding, but if he hadn't been for his dragon armor, he would already be dead. He looked at Lin Feng and Meng Qing, then he rose up in the air and attacked the flag sealing the space around them, breaking it. Then, he rose up in the clouds and escaped. Lin Feng didn't chase him. Instead, he just watched. Long Teng had managed to break the flag's seal with a single attack. Lin Feng had managed to injure Long Teng, but killing him proved to be more difficult, especially considering his dragon armor. He's so strong, but there are people stronger than him in the Ba Huang province. Even with the strength of the 6th Tian-Chi layer, I am too weak, whispered Lin Feng. Step by step. The first time we met, you were so weak. Now, look at yourself. Almost nobody can compete with you at the same cultivation level. And as you level up, you'll become even stronger, said Meng Qing smiling. Lin Feng nodded, agreeing. Bzzz. At that time, a strange strength appeared around them. Lin Feng and Meng Qing raised their heads and saw some portraits appear. Diviner, is the cycle of reincarnation going to start? Whispered Lin Feng. It was as if Lin Feng had seen life. Chapter 1160, Fire City. A strange landscape appeared in the sky, but Lin Feng and Meng Qing weren't the only ones who saw it. Everybody raised their heads to look at the changing sky. Some people had heard their elders' stories about Fortune City and knew what it meant. Those people immediately rose up in the air. A mirage, whispered Lin Feng. There was another illusion in the sky. Lin Feng had the same impression from when he had first seen Fortune City, but the landscape in the sky looked even more like an illusion. Something is going to happen. It's not surprising though, those people can't give us unlimited time in here after all, whispered Lin Feng. People had already obtained incredible treasures inside Fortune City, but many people had died too. Of course, everybody had a different fate. Lin Feng was thinking, what was going to happen next? What was Fortune City? Had Fortune City appeared in other places such as Jiu-Yu or the Holy City? He couldn't understand any of it. Let's go and see, said Lin Feng to Meng Qing. They jumped on his Tian-Ji sword and rose up in the air. Lin Feng saw some other people rising with him. They glanced at each other, they seemed to know that there was something there. Lin Feng raised his head and looked at the landscape again. Something was definitely going to happen. We can follow that path to find the real place, said Meng Qing. Lin Feng nodded. Indeed, the landscape in the sky seemed to be indicating a path. Lin Feng couldn't miss that opportunity. However, Lin Feng didn't expect the path to be so long. They continued flying for 4 days, but they still hadn't reached their destination. Lin Feng continued running along and stealing fate seeds. Now he had 2 blue fate seeds in his third eye, and with them, his physical body was becoming even stronger. He gave a blue fate seed to Meng Qing, but she gave it back to him. It seemed like sometimes she would listen to him and sometimes she was stubborn. Lin Feng, did you sense that? Whispered Meng Qing. Lin Feng nodded. The landscape above them was becoming hotter as they got closer. Apart from that, there were even more people, and those people seemed stronger than the average cultivators they had come across so far. Right, that illusion is merging with Fortune City, whispered Lin Feng. At that moment, connections were being established between the air and that place. It was slowly becoming tangible. Lin Feng didn't try to steal any more fate seeds. There were many people at the 8th and 9th Tian Qi layer now. Some people were even at the very top of the Tian Qi layer. Lin Feng stood no chance against them. Nobody decided to attack him either. Lin Feng possessed 2 incredible holy weapons and 2 million gems. How hot! Finally, Lin Feng saw some flames in the distance. We arrived, whispered Lin Feng. There were already many people in the distance. It was a city on fire. There weren't just flames, it was a desolate place with wrecked buildings. Even the roads were burning. Those rods were created on purpose for us to walk across them, said Meng Qing. There were several roads to choose from. Maybe that place was created for fire cultivators, whispered Lin Feng. He looked at the sky and saw that the illusion was still there. It was strange to look at, as if what he saw wasn't real. Life, fire, water and thunder areas, whispered Lin Feng. There were all sorts of places there, as if they had been made for different sorts of cultivators. The illusion directly ahead of them was pointing towards the city on fire. It probably indicated that there were more areas than that fire space, just that they had to cross that place to see the other places. Lin Feng wasn't sure about it, but that was his guess. To go there, you need to have a blue fate seed. I just saw someone enter and he had a blue seed. After he went inside he immediately disappeared, said someone to the side of them. Blue seed to enter. The crowd wasn't happy. There were many people there, but only a few had blue fate seeds. Just what was that place? If you have blue seeds, maybe your life will change forever, said someone else. Maybe possessing blue seeds was the price to pay to seize the next opportunity. Not only that place, I heard someone who said the other areas were the same. You need blue seeds to pass, otherwise, you can only watch from outside. I also heard that if you can enter one of those places, you'll have the chance to learn abstruse energies of your choosing, said someone else. Everybody was talking and several people were nervous about it. There was only one solution for those who didn't have enough seeds, they had to steal more fate seeds from people. Many people looked at Lin Feng who had 2 blue seeds. If they managed to defeat him, they could get their blue seeds and enter one of the special areas. Humph. Lin Feng smiled in a cold way. Some people wanted to fight him now. Chapter 1161, Nice Shot. Meng Qing, we will need to separate, said Lin Feng. Apparently, there were different areas there, so Lin Feng hoped that Meng Qing would go to the place most suitable for her instead of following him. I don't know where to go. I don't even know if there's a place suitable for me, said Meng Qing in a low voice. She needed a pure, celestial place or a snow place, definitely not that fire area. Look over there, that should be a snowy place, said Lin Feng pointing at the map in the sky. There was a place which looked to be covered in a blizzard. What about you? Where are you going? Asked Meng Qing. A thunder place if there's one. I need to practice thunder cultivation to finish my sword, said Lin Feng smiling. He was going to bite off more than he could chew, his thunder intent was already so powerful, so now he wanted to master that strength. Of course, if he could, he also wished to go to the other places. Maybe some of those places could teach cultivators about abstruse energies. There was also a place filled with the source of life in the sky. It was blue like water and contained an incredible vitality. Feng Xian had bought something with a vitality abstruse crystal on the island of the 9 dragons. Vitality was a kind of mysterious strength, so it made sense that a place filled with it would appear in Fortune City. Meng Qing nodded. If she could find a place with snow or pure, celestial energies, she would benefit the most from them. The stronger she was, the less Lin Feng had to worry. You, said someone coldly. Lin Feng sensed cold energies, so he turned around. He saw a girl, a very beautiful girl. Lin Feng recognized her. Even though he had only seen her once and it was only for a few minutes, such a beautiful girl was difficult to forget. Qi Jiao Jiao looked upset when she saw Lin Feng. Nobody had ever stolen from or attacked her before. Even in Fortune City, many people were polite with her. Jiao Jiao, is he the one who disrespected you? Asked someone. There were a few people on Qi Jiao Jiao's side. They surrounded her as if she were a queen. Even though she didn't need protectors, the Qi clan was too famous in Bahuang province. In the eastern part, absolutely everybody knew her. Indeed, he changed his face though. Back in the shrine, I made the request to find him, but that person didn't exist. Now I even suspect his qi to be fake, said Qi Jiao Jiao looking at Lin Feng coldly. She wasn't dumb, since the old man had told her that that person didn't exist. She understood that Lin Feng had used a special power to disguise himself. Even though everything was possible in the shrine, nothing could be created out of nothing. Therefore, Lin Feng had probably disguised himself. Indeed, he must have the strength of the 5th Tian Qi layer, but changed his face. Some people must have seen him, said someone behind Qi Jiao Jiao indifferently. Lin Feng glanced at that person. He had seen him already. He was there when Lin Feng had been surrounded by all those people, but he hadn't attacked. It's him, said someone else. That bow, they had seen it before. 5th Tian Qi layer. Qi Jiao Jiao bit her lips. Surprisingly, a cultivator of the 5th Tian Qi layer had stolen 200,000 gems from her. How was that possible? It seems like Brother Wu chased him before, but failed. I wonder why, said someone else mockingly. There were tensions between them apparently. Yuan Fei is one of his best friends, so he came and kicked the Thunderbird away. Then the others gave up. Unfortunately, Jiao Jiao's second brother wasn't there, said Brother Wu indifferently. Someone brought blue seeds here, it's a good thing. Blue fate seeds, you fooled so many people, said Qi Jiao Jiao staring at Lin Feng. Many people heard that and they sounded surprised too. He had changed his qi. He only had the strength of the 5th Tian Qi layer. But he had 2 blue fate seeds. Qi Jiao Jiao walked towards Lin Feng. Her facial expression looked cold. Jiao Jiao, you don't need to fight such weak people, said a cultivator of the 7th Tian Qi layer. He was holding a black spear which contained its own destructive energies. Hee, I can help too, said 2 other people. Lin Feng had blue seeds, so they had to get involved if they wanted to share the loot. They would give 1 blue seed to Qi Jiao Jiao and share the second one between themselves. Of course, if nobody had said that Lin Feng had only broken through to the 5th Tian Qi layer, they wouldn't thought to attack. Meng Qing, let's go, said Lin Feng indifferently. They had to go to the fire area first. Then, Lin Feng wanted to find the thunder area and Meng Qing the pure celestial or snow area. Those people were dumbstruck. Lin Feng was ignoring them. You want to die, said the one with the spear. He immediately threw his spear at Lin Feng and a terrifying qi surrounded Lin Feng. Lin Feng turned around, his eyes were filled with sword and thunder energies. Bzzz. Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique, rose up in the air and attacked with his halberd. Kacha, the spear broke and the halberd continued moving towards the cultivator. He was shocked and was shaking violently. The others who were getting ready to attack Lin Feng suddenly stopped. Kaboom! Lightning struck the cultivator and his body disappeared. Lin Feng glanced at those people coldly and said, "If anyone annoys me again, I don't mind taking their fate seeds." "I just stole your fate seeds," said Lin Feng glancing at Qi Jiao Jiao. He was convinced that she understood what he meant. Is he a cultivator of the 5th Tian Qi layer, or is he at the top of the Tian Qi layer? Those people were trying to judge Lin Feng. One of them had said he had only broken through to the 5th Tian Qi layer a moment ago. He's really only a cultivator of the 5th Tian Qi layer, but he's good at fighting and he's got holy weapons, so killing cultivators of the 5th Tian Qi layer isn't a problem for him, said that person indifferently. The people who were with Qi Jiao Jiao immediately surrounded Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at them and raised his bow. "Meng Qing," said Lin Feng. He rose up in the air and 8 arrows appeared in his hand. Meng Qing understood what Lin Feng meant. Snowflakes appeared and surrounded all of them. "Freeze," said Meng Qing. The space around them began to freeze over, and at the same time, Lin Feng's arrows started shining like the sun, emitting crackling sounds. Then, as he shot his arrows, all their fate seeds went to Lin Feng's third eye. Those who had attacked were shaking. Lin Feng had killed all those people in one shot. Lin Feng had even killed cultivators of the 8th Tian Qi layer. "Let's go," said Lin Feng. Meng Qing rose up in the air and they left together. "You," the young man who had been called Brother Wu looked upset. "I forgot to tell you, that girl is also strong and can easily kill cultivators of the 8th Tian Qi layer. Lastly, a watcher is protecting them," said that person laughing indifferently. The others looked at him in a cold way. "Jiao Jiao, we can't do anything to them. We lost a few crappy cultivators, but that's not such a bad thing," said that person nodding Qi Jiao Jiao. Chapter 1162, Jun Mo Shi. Qi Jiao Jiao was surprised. Wu Yan was the strongest cultivator on her side and he said they couldn't do anything to them. That was surprising to hear that from him of all people. Even more surprising to hear considering Lin Feng had only broken through to the 5th Tian Qi layer. Wu Yan had killed many people, so she didn't blame him for not killing Lin Feng. "Of course, if you fight against him alone, you may be able to defeat him," said Wu Yan smiling in a devilish way. Qi Jiao Jiao smiled and said, "I see. I could obviously defeat a cultivator of the 5th Tian Qi layer, however, I am surprised that the guy is protected by a watcher." After that, she frowned, the watchers only protected people who had the potential to become emperors. Qi Jiao Jiao had only heard legends about the watchers. Lin Feng was riding his Tianji sword as they moved forward. There were even more people ahead, and they were progressively stronger than those before them. Lin Feng and Meng Qing quickly realized that the fireplace was gigantic. It took them an entire hour to go around it. After that, they arrived at a dazzling golden place. They continued on ahead. Some people were looking at Lin Feng greedily now because of his blue fate seeds, but when they sensed his qi, they didn't attack. Top of the Tian Qi layer, blue seeds, a terrifying sword, he was probably too strong for them. The third area they found was an earthen place, the fourth one was a wooden one, the fifth was a water one. Lin Feng and Meng Qing glanced at each other. "The 5 basic elements. Do you think we'll end up in the fireplace again?" whispered Lin Feng. As they continued, they really ended up in the fireplace again. There are only 5 areas. We spent a lot of time running around, but that place shouldn't be so big. It doesn't look like the landscape in the sky at all, said Lin Feng. He remained silent for a few seconds and said, "Where is the thunder place, where is the life place?" "Moon, sun, 5 elements," whispered Lin Feng as if he had thought of something. "Maybe you're right. When considering thunder, some people would say it originates from wood while others would say earth. When considering life, some people say wood as well. Maybe abstruse energies are made of these 5 elements, including the very elemental energies themselves," whispered Meng Qing. Lin Feng looked at her and said, "You mean that we have to use those 5 areas to get to the other areas?" "Maybe," said Meng Qing. Lin Feng looked pensive and then smiled. He put his hand on his heart and said, "Come out." Two silhouettes appeared in front of Lin Feng. They were astonished when they saw Lin Feng. Meng Qing was astonished. She looked at one of them, a young man who had a powerful and aggressive qi, but he had only broken through to the second Tian qi layer. Lin Feng looked at them and said, "That is absolutely hilarious." Those two people were the spirits from the Huang Sea. Lin Feng had promised them he would help them find bodies. Since then, he had put them in Jade Emperor's palace so they could choose a body inside. One of them had chosen the body of a strong cultivator from the East Sea Dragon Palace, the Dragon King. The other one, which made Lin Feng even more speechless, had chosen Duan Wu Dao. "That body is powerful and is quite suitable for me. I even have a little bit of dragon strength," said the Dragon King. They had practiced cultivation inside and had learned how to control their bodies. "That person was really gifted, unfortunately, you imprisoned him inside. Even though his cultivation level was really low, I'll solve that issue quickly enough," said Duan Wu Dao. "All right." Lin Feng was speechless. He was talking to two people he hated and had imprisoned in the Jade Palace. It was a very strange feeling, but Duan Wu Dao used to be strong, indeed. "Did Fortune City exist when you were young?" asked Lin Feng, quickly forgetting about those people's new bodies. "Fortune City," they both looked incredulous. They looked at Lin Feng and said, "I've never heard of Fortune City, but I've heard of the Fortune Shrine." Fortune Shrine. Lin Feng and Meng Qing glanced at each other. He had told Meng Qing about those people before, so she knew they were from the antiquity. "What was the Fortune Shrine?" asked Lin Feng. Maybe that Fortune Shrine they were talking about wasn't the same one they were now in. They both shook their heads and the Dragon King said, "It was a terrifying strength in the continent. It was said that the Great War had started because of it. We, Zun cultivators, were considered low-level cultivators, so nobody told us anything about it. Even our master, the Vice-Emperor, wasn't considered a strong cultivator during the war. There were many secrets he didn't know even." Lin Feng was surprised. The Vice-Emperor didn't count as a strong cultivator during the Antique War. Thunder abstruse energy, life abstruse energy, massacre abstruse energy, etc. Are all those abstruse energies related to the 5 elements? Of course, the 10,000 things of creation are created by moon and sun energies. All the energies of the earth and sky are not pure. Every energy can be defined according to the moon, the sun and the 5 elements, nothing more, said Duan Wu Dao. Lin Feng nodded. Meng Qing was right. Just who had created Fortune City? "Let's go to the water area," said Lin Feng. "No need, your cultivation is based on the sun and you understand fire energies. You should start from there. Besides, since you can hide people within your palace, I should be able to enter without having to pay the blue fate seeds, right?" said Meng Qing. Lin Feng remained silent and said, "Let's go, we're going to the shrine." "To the shrine?" Meng Qing was surprised. "We'll take a few people." Lin Feng's Tianji sword became bigger. Lin Feng brought Meng Qing and the 2 others to the shrine. They soon arrived in the shrine and Lin Feng looked at the strong cultivator. "Master, we want to go to that person." Lin Feng then transmitted an image to the old man. The old man inspected the memory and said, "You don't have enough fate seeds to go where he is, you need 1,000,000 fate seeds for each person." Lin Feng's eyes twinkled. He asked, "Really?" "I don't lie," said the old man indifferently yet slightly coldly. Lin Feng smiled in a resplendent way. A moment before, Lin Feng transmitted Jun Mo Shi's image to the old man. He was still alive and to go see him, he needed 1,000,000 fate seeds. That meant that Jun Mo Shi had been to one of those 5 elemental places. Lin Feng was terribly excited. Lin Feng had hoped that his friends were in Fortune City as well. The chances were low, but apparently, it happened. "What about her?" asked Lin Feng, transmitting Tang Yuyu's image to the old man and firmly staring at him. "She's never been here," said the old man. "She must have come, master. are capable of making mistakes? Asked Lin Feng. Fortune City is omniscient. She may have come, but I can't tell you. If she came, it was with a different face. Lin Feng was disappointed for a second. If Yu was alive, maybe she hadn't come to Fortune City, maybe she was still somewhere else. Chapter 1163, Beast Palace. Lin Feng and the others went back to the place where the elemental areas were. Lin Feng, Meng Qing, Yun Fei Yang, Huang Fu Long, the Dragon King and Duan Wu Dao were all there. In the Shrine Palace, Lin Feng had also asked about Yun Fei Yang too, but he wasn't in Fortune City either. Then, he asked to have Huang Fu Long and Yun Fei Yang teleported to him. Since he had a way to cheat, why not bring them to the elemental areas too? Lin Ruotian initially wanted to take Lin Ruotian and Meng Ba too, but letting them know about his Jade Emperor's palace was too risky. If anyone else came to know about it, it would end badly for Lin Feng. Let's go now, asked Lin Feng. Wait, fate seeds first, said Yuan Fei with a strange expression. He jumped far away, into the horizon, his wooden stick streaked across the sky and crashed onto the ground, leaving a great canyon in its place. Give me your fate seeds, shouted Yuan Fei aggressively. Lin Feng rolled his eyes. Yuan Fei did whatever he wanted. Yuan Fei, everybody wants to continue, so why do you do that? It's not fair, said someone who recognized Yuan Fei. That person was polite, but Yuan Fei's wooden stick fell down from the sky again, forcing many people to dodge. Bzzz, his gigantic wooden stick stopped just above that person who was suddenly soaked in a cold sweat. Give them, shouted Yuan Fei extremely loudly. People's mouth twitched. Only the poor guy was left after everyone ran away, so he handed over his few dozens of thousands of fate seeds over to Yuan Fei. Alright, calm down now, said Yuan Fei going back. Lin Feng was speechless, but he then took out his palace and put it on the ground. You guys, go in. When we're in the fire area, I'll take you out, said Lin Feng. Yuan Fei was surprised to see that palace, it had an ancient qi. They all entered the palace and with their strength, there were quite a few things they could benefit from inside. Lin Feng hid the palace away again and entered the fire area. The first thing he noticed was that the ground looked like an illusion. Lin Feng was fixedly staring at it, when his blue fate seed disappeared. As expected, a blue fate seed was required to go in. What we see from the outside is different than what is inside. The area looked like a wasteland, the qi was old and scorching hot. It was a land of fire, indeed, but it was quite different from what people saw from the outside. Yuan Fei and the others came out and were surprised when they saw the place. How come it looks like an ancient town which had suffered a great war? Asked Yuan Fei. Lin Feng nodded. Indeed, that qi was ancient. Why did Fortune City send them there? Let's go, said Lin Feng. The four of them walked around to get a better understanding of the area. Roar! At that moment, a roaring sound was heard. Bestial qi appeared and then they saw a building of an animal. That animal had the body of a lion, its eyes were red, its qi was incredible, and its body was gigantic like a building. The beast looked at Lin Feng and his friends, making them feel uncomfortable. Lin Feng was surprised because that beast had two green-blue seeds in its third eye. I have a feeling we went back into the past. The Dragon King and Duan Wu Dao's eyes were twinkling. They continued, that beast is the evil fire lion, an ancient beast with a ferocious temper. He looks like Cheong Qi. Lin Feng was surprised. That beast was a wild beast. Lin Feng thought Fortune City was getting even stranger now. The most important thing is that we can still get fate seeds, so let's do it, said Yuan Fei. He immediately jumped up in the air and while holding his gigantic wooden stick. The lion roared and a black fire appeared around his body. Then he jumped towards Yuan Fei's wooden stick with his claws leading the assault. Boom, the lion was injured, but it continued moving towards Yuan Fei. I'm a beast too, shouted Yuan Fei furiously. His arms became gigantic like those of a gorilla and collided against the lion. The lion wasn't stronger than Yuan Fei, so he wanted to escape, but he couldn't. Rumbling sounds appeared, and after the 10th punch, the lion was dead and his fate seeds went to Yuan Fei's third eye. Feel. Huang Fulong gulped down, that beast would have killed me. Huang Fulong was speechless, Lin Feng was too. Two blue-green fate seeds, it seems like the strength of the beasts in here are related to their fate seeds. They also want to steal our fate seeds to become stronger, thought Lin Feng. That lion was more interested in Lin Feng, seeing how he had stared at him the whole time. Indeed, maybe there's an ocean of fate seeds in here, said Yuan Fei, who was excited now. Where there was danger, there were opportunities. Bzzz, in the distance, a strong cultivator appeared. He went to the center of the wrecked city. People who could go there were strong cultivators who already possessed 1,000,000 gems. We need to hurry, people who go there have blue seeds, so there are sure to be many more opportunities, said Lin Feng. They all continued moving ahead. In the distance, now and then, they would notice bestial qi rising up. Fortune Shrine. At that moment, a dazzling palace appeared. There was fortune energy dashing to the skies above it. That must be Fortune Shrine. Few people could see it and even fewer people went to it. What's that there? There was a palace not far from the Fortune Shrine. That palace looked scary and bestial qi emanated from it. Let's go and see, said Yuan Fei as if he had sensed something. The building was surrounded by black clouds so people couldn't really see it. Yuan Fei immediately entered the building, leaving Lin Feng speechless. Yuan Fei was a man of action, he didn't think too much when he wanted to do something. That place could be dangerous. Boom! A silhouette flew out and crashed onto the ground. It was Yuan Fei and he was shaking. Damn it! That bestial qi is terrifying. Yuan Fei was now swearing. He got up using his stick and released his own bestial qi. He moved towards the palace, step by step. The ground kept shaking, but Yuan Fei was furious. You guys should leave, this palace is not suitable for you. Go and seize other opportunities. This place is like Fortune City, it can change your destiny, said Yuan Fei, entering the building again. Everybody sighed and Lin Feng smiled wryly. Boom, 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 collision sounded again as bestial qi dashed to the skies. After a long time, the atmosphere became calm again. A beast palace. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled as he said, let's go, this palace is his. Chapter 1164, Beasts. Lin Feng heard more buzzing sounds as he turned around and found that a mysterious strength was emanating from the palace, sealing strength. The beast palace is closing, whispered Duan Wudao. Yuan Fei had gone into the palace and now it was closing itself. Only one person could enter the palace at a time. Do you want to walk around and find more suitable things for you? Asked Lin Feng to the Dragon King and Duan Wudao. The Dragon King was extremely strong. If he managed to control his body entirely, he would become even stronger. Duan Wudao was weaker though. Alright, we'll transmit a memory to you so that you can find us, said Duan Wudao. He knew that Lin Feng was worried about them. However, that guy now had Duan Wudao's body and could use some of Duan Wudao's abilities along with his own. Besides, without fate seeds, few people would chase him. Those two people left and Lin Feng took out his animal tower, releasing all the animals. It's an ancient town, you guys may have some opportunities here. You can go now, but be careful. They all said goodbye to Lin Feng and left. Lin Feng, my mother made that animal tower herself. It can have an explosive power if I use it, so you should give it to me, said Meng Qing. That animal tower was a holy weapon which could oppress animals. In that ancient city, there would be terrifyingly strong beasts, so maybe Meng Qing would be able to capture some more beasts with it. When Meng Qing wanted something, Lin Feng could only please her. He then looked at Huang Fulong, and Huang Fulong understood what Lin Feng meant because he had the same idea. He smiled and said, "I'm off." "All right, be careful," said Lin Feng, tapping Huang Fulong's shoulder. He took out his holy weapons and asked Huang Fulong, "Do you want anything?" "My dragon axe already has an explosive power, but I'll take the ancient shield," said Huang Fulong, taking the black shield. Then, he left. He couldn't rely on Lin Feng to protect him, and he wanted to become stronger too. "No," said Meng Qing, shaking her head. Lin Feng hadn't even talked yet, but she knew what he was going to say. Instead, he took her hand and they walked together. That place was a gigantic, ancient city. Lin Feng saw a few fire animals who all had blue-green fate seeds. They looked ferocious and were difficult to fight, so Lin Feng didn't try to fight them. "Lin Feng, over there," said Meng Qing, pointing in a direction with billowing towers of red flames. "What a scary fire." "Let's go and see," said Lin Feng, who was interested because he practiced fire cultivation. When they arrived near those flames, they found that two beasts were fighting. "It looks like a three-legged golden crow," thought Lin Feng, looking at one of the beasts. It had terrifying flames which were burning the ground under its feet. The beast fighting it was a fire beast as well, but it looked like a turtle with wings. Lin Feng had never seen such a beasts before. Maybe those ancient beasts were now extinct. That ocean of flames is its own fire city. "The golden crow seems like it's trying to claim a fire stone," said Meng Qing, looking at that winged turtle's claws. It was holding a fire stone. "Caw!" The golden crow spat out flames. The turtle also released its own fire energies, which gave birth to a hurricane made of fire. Lin Feng and Meng Qing were not so near, but they could still sense those scorching hot energies. Those flames were almost to the abstruse fire level. However, the turtle opened its mouth and swallowed the sun, leaving Lin Feng and Meng Qing aghast. Fighting against a beast of the same type wasn't easy. Unless one of them had a much stronger fire chi than the other one, it was almost impossible to kill the other beast. Bzzz. Then, the atmosphere started shaking. Lin Feng saw a young man walking towards those beasts slowly. Soon he had walked into the middle of them, as if the flames didn't affect him. A strong cultivator, thought Lin Feng, fixedly staring at him. That guy did a knife hand strike onto the turtle and a star appeared. The turtle was suddenly caged inside it. "Die," said the young man. His hand was dazzling as it contained star energies. Blood and fire mixed as the turtle was killed. The young man grabbed some of the remaining fire. He turned around and walked towards the golden crow, still looking calm. "Caw!" The crow cawed, turned around and took off. It wanted to escape. The young man opened his hand, jumped up and disappeared. His terrifying stars appeared again and surrounded the golden crow. The golden crow was struggling to break free by flapping its wings, but the young man performed another knife hand strike to it. The crow cried and then its body was cut in two. Its fate seeds also went to the young man's third eye. "He's terrifying strong," thought Lin Feng, shivering. That guy's knife hand strike was astonishingly powerful. That guy was breathtakingly strong. Even if they joined hands, Meng Qing and Lin Feng wouldn't necessarily be able to kill those fire beasts. What a beast, thought Lin Feng. They didn't know him. Was he one of the strong cultivators Yuan Fei had told him about? He used star skills and techniques which could break space itself. Perhaps that young man understood abstruse energies, including an incredible type of abstruse energy, empty space abstruse energy. The young man looked at Lin Feng, but didn't attack. He took the fire stone and jumped into the fire. Lin Feng understood that the guy probably understood empty space abstruse energy as well as fire abstruse energy, otherwise, he wouldn't have taken that fire stone and jumped into an ocean of flames. "Meng Qing, I want to go and see," said Lin Feng. Meng Qing nodded and smiled. "Go, I'll wait for you here. If I'm left waiting too long, I'll leave and find a more suitable place for myself. Be careful." said Lin Feng in a gentle voice, caressing her head and smiling. Then he jumped into the ocean of flames. Apart from him, some other people went there. They were probably all fire cultivators as well. Chapter 1165, Golden Crow. As Lin Feng fell into the flame-filled abyssal hole, he used pure fire chi to surround his body and protect him. Sometimes, purple thunderous energies attacked him too. Lin Feng had a strong physical strength and also practiced fire cultivation, so he was confident in his fire resistance. That city on fire is big, thought Lin Feng. He jumped forwards where fire chi was thicker and found that this place was good to practice fire cultivation. Last time, he had bathed in thunders and it was very beneficial, but painful. Lin Feng slowly observed the fire. Pure fire chi was flowing around him as he was absorbing fire. Lin Feng turned around and saw a cultivator who was faster than him at absorbing fire chi. He was inhaling and exhaling very quickly. He was absorbing fire chi and spitting out flames. That guy's fire skills must be incredible, thought Lin Feng. That guy glanced at him and continued running. Lin Feng had the strength at top of the Tian Chi layer and a blue seed, nobody wanted to challenge him still. Lin Feng studied the flames, he inhaled and exhaled the scorching air. He began using his cosmos burning sun technique and he closed his eyes. A sun pattern appeared on his body as he attracted in sunlight. Bzzz, at that moment, Lin Feng's sun pattern became dazzling. Lin Feng opened his eyes and found that his fire energies had suddenly become a lot stronger, fire strength. Lin Feng realized that his cultivation speed was incredible here. Even if he attacked other fire cultivators, he would probably be able to hurt them with his new fire. It wasn't long before Lin Feng started sweating and his pure qi which had surrounded his body wasn't enough. It was starting to become painful. On that road, Lin Feng later saw 4 to 5 people who were all fire cultivators that possessed incredible fire qi. They were primarily cultivators of the 8th Tian Qi layer, but there were also a few cultivators of the 9th Tian Qi layer. Lin Feng found it strange that nobody attacked anyone else. They were all walking on the same path, the path of fire cultivation, so perhaps they thought of each other as fellow cultivators. Lin Feng decided to move and walked for a long time. Even though he had an incredible physical body, he was still suffering. Sometimes, Lin Feng stopped using defensive strength and just based in the flames. He wasn't the only one who did that, many other people did the same. Almost there. Lin Feng could sense the heat was increasing. In the distance, he saw huge flames emanating out, he had made it. Golden Crow. Lin Feng gazed into the distance, saw a 3-legged golden crow swallowing flames and spitting out ocean of flames in return. Just behind that golden crow was a sun. The 3-legged golden crow lived on the sun according to legends. He was the god of the sun. That was according to legends, but still, the golden crow was a symbol of the sun. That's why I was attracted here. Lin Feng's cosmos burning sun technique was an authentic sun technique which created its own sun. The golden crow in the distance was going in and out of looking real and becoming an illusion. It mustn't have been a real golden crow, otherwise, he would have attacked by now. Lin Feng saw the young man again, he was walking forwards and looking at the golden crow in a relaxed way. There were 3 people next to him who were all looking at the golden crow as well. Lin Feng remained motionless and also looked at the golden crow. The place was remained calm for a long time and more people arrived. The very strong young man walked towards the golden crow very slowly. When he got closer, the others released terrifying energies and their target was the golden crow. Bzzz. The strong young man also released energies in the form of white stars which quickly surrounded the golden crow. However, Lin Feng saw through the illusional fire energy. The white stars disappeared at the same time. It's not a golden crow, it's not an animal at all. It's a flame, thought Lin Feng. The fire chi was so incredible that it had taken the form of a golden crow. No wonder those people attacked at the same time. Lin Feng suddenly thought about the void fire in Ahsoka. That fire in front of him now was much more powerful than the void fire from before. That fire can take the form of a golden crow and it's similar to my technique, thought Lin Feng. However, at that moment, the young man was getting even closer without using any strength. The fire surrounded him and he didn't use any special powers to stop it. If the golden crow attacked him, it would be dangerous. Purple thunderous energies appeared around Lin Feng. He also put on his armor and walked towards the golden crow. He got near, but stopped. He didn't feel safe moving any closer. He stretched out his hand and the fire burnt his hand. However, the blue seal healed the wound immediately. If only Cheong Chi were here, he would use a skill to take that fire, thought Lin Feng. He had a treasure in front of him, but couldn't take it. Cheong Chi had taken the void fire last time. If he had been there this time, he would have taken the golden crow fire too. The young man began releasing little stars again. What is he doing? Thought the crowd looking at him. He was creating small star circles which were surrounding the space. Does he want to take away a piece of the space? Thought the crowd. Besides, Lin Feng had seen how strong that guy was. As far as everyone here was concerned, he had the best chance to succeed. Chapter 1166, attacked when the young man moved back after he finished his technique. He had wrapped up the golden crow in star energies and now the space was shaking. Bzzz. A terrifying chi appeared and the stars broke. Then, everything became chaotic. The golden crow started oppressing the crowd again and swallowing flames. Even though the young man controlled abstruse energies, he still wasn't strong enough yet, so the golden crow broke through it. Bzzz. At that moment, a dazzling jar appeared and fell onto the fire. A holy weapon, the crowd saw the jar which began swallowing a terrifying amount of flames, including the golden crow. The dazzling jar became red as it filled with fire. The crowd could even see the golden crow inside. Come back, shouted someone furiously and the holy weapon flew back to his owner. A crackling sound spread in the air as the cultivator groaned with pain as the jar broke into pieces. It couldn't contain the golden crow fire either. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled as other people tried their own techniques, but they weren't strong enough either. Without incredible holy weapons, they couldn't get the golden crow fire. Lin Feng was silent as he continued to maintain a certain distance between him and the golden crow fire. He sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes, calmly absorbing the flames. The crowd was surprised by Lin Feng. He was the only one who didn't try to get the fire, maybe it was because he knew that he wasn't strong enough. No matter, practicing cultivation there was a good idea. Time passed slowly and a sun pattern soon appeared on Lin Feng's body, absorbed sun energies even faster. 2 days passed and in those 2 days, the strong young man had broken the fire stone he took from the turtle and his fire energies grew even stronger from it. He tried to take the golden crow fire again, but failed. Then, he decided to leave. There were many other things to do in that place, wasting too much time there wasn't worthwhile. People gradually left and other people arrived. Some tried to take the golden crow fire, but left when they failed. Only 2 people were left, Lin Feng who was still sitting cross-legged and practicing cultivation and another person. Once they were alone, he went to Lin Feng, smiled and said, "You are at the top of the Tian Qi layer and you're still practicing cultivation here. Don't you think it's a waste of time?" Lin Feng opened his eyes, smiled and said, "What about you? Why are you here?" "I want to see if you can take the fire," said that person, looking for Lin Feng's reaction. Lin Feng looked at him and said, "That's all?" "Indeed. I'm weak and I can't surpass other people so all I can do is watch. I want to see who will take this fire in the end," said the young man smiling fatuously. He had an ordinary fire robe with flame patterns. He had broken through to the 7th Tian Qi layer and his fate seeds were yellow. Lin Feng wondered how he had made it that far. "Alright, I'll try then," said Lin Feng smiling and standing up. So, I was right, you waited for the other people to leave because you knew how to take the fire all along, said that person, taking a step back. I don't know if I can, but I can definitely try, said Lin Feng indifferently. Lin Feng understood that if he didn't try, then that guy wouldn't leave. Did he really just want to see someone take the fire? Lin Feng didn't believe him in the slightest. A gigantic cauldron appeared in the air and it diffused pale lights. That is, the Heavenly Nine-Dragon Cauldron. That person recognized the cauldron. Unfortunately it's broken, but it's still a precious treasure from the antiquity. I'm sure you'll get the Golden Crow fire, said the young man sighing. Lin Feng then had the cauldron surround the fire. The Golden Crow fire continued burning in the Heavenly Nine-Dragon Cauldron and the fire was explosive, but the cauldron didn't break. It worked, thought Lin Feng incredulously. Lin Feng jumped to his Heavenly Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Bzzz. Energies moved towards Lin Feng from behind. Lin Feng didn't need to turn around to know what was happening, he had already anticipated this reaction. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. His Tianji sword appeared and it contained purple thunderous energies. Slash, slash, Lin Feng lacerated his opponent's body, however, the opponent had turned into several illusions who all they threw themselves at Lin Feng. Come back, shouted the opponent furiously. He condensed again into one body and released an extremely strong wind to oppress Lin Feng. It was the kind of spell Jiang people had used when they had originally kidnapped him. You want to die. Lin Feng turned around and took out his halberd. Then he used the wind his opponent released to move even faster. Bzzz, bzzz, they both released terrifying fire energies which filled the entire room. Lin Feng's opponent was releasing fire energies from his sleeves. Then, out of his sleeve, two silhouettes appeared and moved towards Lin Feng. At the same time, both of those silhouettes rose up in the air. Lin Feng's enemy then pointed to the cauldron and said, Cosmic Sleeve, come here. The cauldron turned around and Lin Feng could barely control it anymore. The cauldron moved towards Lin Feng's enemy and disappeared into his sleeve. Subtle sounds spread in the air as he sealed the cauldron. Then, Lin Feng sensed that he had lost his connection to the cauldron. At the same time, Lin Feng attacked the two silhouettes, but they moved back to the young man. He smiled and said, You're not weak, but my fellow disciples aren't that weak. Concerning the cauldron and the Golden Crow fire, remember me and my two fellow disciples. You might have a chance to get your revenge someday. Lin Feng looked at that guy's indifferent smile. He didn't look like someone who was evil. That kind of person was dangerous. Especially that his sleeves could hide people, that explained how they had made it that far. His two friends were also quite strong, 8th Tian Qi layer. How should I call you guys and where are you from? Said Lin Feng smiling. He remained calm even though he had just lost two precious treasures. I'm Fu Hei and those two are my two disciples. We come from a fire mountain and are Emperor Yan's disciples. What about you? Asked the guy. Lin Feng from Tiantai. The first imperial cultivation disciple of Tiantai, you're famous already. Thanks again for today. We're off, said Fu Hei and then the three of them left. Lin Feng was intrigued. Fu Hei had stolen things from him and after that, they acted as if they were friends. Lin Feng didn't chase them, it was useless because he couldn't do anything to them. He still had to become stronger. Chapter 1167, Seventh Assassin. Golden Crow Fire, whispered Lin Feng. Fire was like a weapon and after reaching a certain level, it could be explosive. Fire was even more important than weapons for fire cultivators. Obtaining a powerful fire could be even better than obtaining a holy weapon. Last time, Cheong Qi had taken the void fire and grew many levels stronger. That Golden Crow fire was even more terrifying than the void fire and it suited him even more. He almost obtained the Golden Crow fire, but someone stole it from him. Lin Feng wasn't happy, but it wasn't as if he had obtained nothing those days. Even his fire intent was level 7, and soon, he would have level 8 fire intent. Lin Feng left the place. Once everybody made it that far, strong cultivators would start stealing fate seeds again. When Lin Feng made it out, he found that Meng Qing had already left. With her strength and her Taoist robe made of feathers, Lin Feng wasn't worried. He was more worried about Huang Fulong and Qiu Yuxian. Huang Fulong wasn't that strong and the dangers here were high. Lin Feng hadn't looked for Qiu Yuxian for 2 reasons, the first was Meng Qing and the second was his general concern for her safety. Lin Feng continued wandering around. Now and then, he came across powerful wild beasts with blue-green fate seeds. Lin Feng even saw a terrifying beast with blue fate seeds, but he didn't attack them. His goal was to look for the shrine. Very quickly, Lin Feng arrived at a shrine. He transmitted Fu Hei's image to the old man and said, "Master, I need a pair of eyes to see where he is and his surroundings." The old man looked at Lin Feng and said indifferently, 200,000 gems. That was expensive, but for such an incredible power, that was normal. Lin Feng had guessed that it'd be even more expensive. Lin Feng nodded and condensed 3 images in his brain, which he transmitted to the old man. "Same thing, I want to see where they are in their surroundings." "No problem, 800,000 gems," said the old man. A pair of eyes appeared in Lin Feng's third eye and 800,000 gems moved to the old man. Lin Feng wasn't happy to spend so much, but it would be worth it. He stepped out of the shrine, now knowing where Fu Hei was. He was alone, but from time to time, he stopped and glanced around looking for people. Lin Feng knew that he had hid his friends in his sleeves again. He could also see Meng Qing who had found an ice place. One of the other people he was spying on was the extremely strong young man who could control fire and empty space energies. Lin Feng also practiced fire cultivation and was interested in empty space energy, therefore, he decided to spy on him. If that guy found the empty space area, Lin Feng would go there as well. The 4th person Lin Feng spied on was the Thunderbird. Even though he wasn't incredibly strong, he could resist Yuan Fei's assault to a certain degree. Lin Feng had decided to study thunder energies thanks to him, so if he found the thunder area, Lin Feng would go there too. Everything was possible in Fortune City, but first people had to think about what they really wanted and how they could achieve it. That's why he was spying on Fu Hei. Lin Feng didn't worry. He could spy on those people and if they found something Lin Feng wanted, he could simply teleport to them. Lin Feng wanted to spend fate seeds to see the whole city clearly, but he knew that it wasn't possible given the expense. He could have also asked to break through to the next Tianqi layers or to understand abstruse energies, but the same applied, it would have been incredibly expensive. That's why he had bought time and a place with thunder to practice cultivation. Boom! At that moment, Lin Feng sensed that the ground was shaking underneath him. "Some people are fighting," thought Lin Feng as he ran in that direction. After a short time, he saw some people fighting. Canyons and craters had appeared in the ground and terrifying fire energies were dashing to the skies. Lin Feng recognized the girl, it was the hot girl, Feng Xian. Feng Xian was fighting someone who was wearing black clothes and looked evil. He had a sly way of fighting, sometimes he would feint his attacks, but the attacks were never complex. Feng Xian looked exhausted. Then, from Feng Xian's back, a phoenix appeared. Even though that guy's attacks are not complex, but he has so many attacks, thought Lin Feng. That young man in black clothes wasn't as strong as Feng Xian, but he understood all kinds of strength. The beautiful Feng Xian, one of the 4 most beautiful girls in Ba Huang province. "Come and give daddy a hug," said that guy in a perverted way. Feng Xian was fighting in an even more ferocious way. She knew he was just provoking her, but it was distracting. "Lin Feng, help me," said Feng Xian. Lin Feng noticed the guy released energies and wanted to attack him. He sensed the energies and understood that Feng Xian was suffering greatly. "You want me to fight?" said Lin Feng. Lin Feng thought it would be difficult to fight that guy. "No need. Just watch out for those hiding in the darkness and prevent them from attacking, said Feng Xian. Lin Feng was surprised. There were people hiding in the darkness? They're from the Imperial Assassin Union. He's one of the 7 assassins, said Feng Xian. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. Imperial Assassin Union. Chapter 1168, Killing the 7th Assassin. No wonder those attacks were so strong. That guy was one of 7 assassins. Since that guy could fight Feng Xian, the others were probably strong as well. Back in Sword City, Lin Feng had sensed an assassin's energy and then the Watcher had helped him. He told him that there was always someone observing in the darkness. Feng Xian was facing one of those assassins, which meant there was someone else hiding. Bzzz. Lin Feng raised his bow. Even though Feng Xian hadn't asked him to fight, Lin Feng wouldn't let them off. Last time they had tried to kill him, this time he wouldn't give them a second chance. Lin Feng condensed sun energy into his arrows and shot them at the assassin who was fighting Feng Xian. If the one in the dark attacked too, Lin Feng would concentrate on him then. Another terrifying energy surrounded Lin Feng and the bow was oppressed. Phoenix, shouted Feng Xian. Her hand turned into a phoenix and shot out towards the enemy, leaving a trail of fire behind it. The assassin was distracted by Lin Feng, so he had moved away from Feng Xian. Feng Xian continued using her phoenix spell without hesitating. Seal, the assassin was surprised. He wouldn't have thought that Feng Xian would continue attacking him, but she did. He wanted to kill her, so how could he flinch? He placed his left on his heart and sealed himself. Golden lights appeared around him and they looked indestructible. Boom! The phoenix crashed onto the assassin's golden body and broke it through the protection. Blood splashed and a hole appeared. At the same time, the assassin had attacked and it landed on Feng Xian's third eye. Blood splashed from both sides. How sly, thought Lin Feng. Cut again. Feng Xian ignored the pain and continued attacking. The assassin moved back, he was already soaked in his own blood. At the same time, he released energies to attack Feng Xian again. Nirvana healing, shouted Feng Xian, furiously releasing vitality lights to heal her wounds. The assassin was upset after seeing this. Feng Xian had an ancient phoenix body, which meant she had phoenix blood and its healing techniques. Vitality energy. Lin Feng sighed. According to legends, phoenixes could heal themselves and even come back to life after dying. At that moment, Lin Feng was surprised to sense energies around him. A sharp and terrifying energy appeared behind him. Kaboom! Lin Feng released terrifying thunderous energies, but the energies were oppressive. Luckily, his physical body was extremely strong and his low-level armor protected him. He condensed more thunder energies, as well as fire energies, and released them. Slash! A subtle sound was heard and the terrifying sensation of danger vanished. Lin Feng turned around and saw an arrow in his opponent's forehead. Someone had shot an arrow at the last moment. The Watcher, thought Lin Feng. Last time, when he was surrounded by all those strong cultivators, the Watcher had shot a golden arrow at him which had melted and mixed with his blood, but Lin Feng wouldn't have thought that the Watcher would constantly follow him until now. He does his job well. Lin Feng sighed. He didn't understand who the Watcher was. He glanced around, but saw nobody. According to the legends, the Imperial Assassin Union and the Watchers were mortal enemies. When Lin Feng turned around, he prepared his bow again without hesitation. He wanted to kill the assassin who was still fighting. He thought that his friend would easily kill Lin Feng, but he had failed so quickly. The assassin didn't feel like fighting anymore. He was wounded and he was losing too much blood. Lin Feng's sword was extremely fast, so the assassin couldn't escape. Slow down, shouted the assassin, turning around. A strange strength enveloped the space and Lin Feng's arrow slowed down. At the same time, he released another kind of energy which weakened the arrow. Slash, slash, Lin Feng continued shooting arrows. The assassin released golden lights which wrapped around him again. Then, he confronted the arrows. Rumbling and crackling sounds rang out as he took out a dazzling sword and cut the arrow, but his sword broke. Kaboom! A dazzling purple light descended from the sky and struck his body. It had aimed for the wound on his chest. His muscles twitched and at the same time, a sword appeared on his throat. It was Lin Feng's sword. The assassin was astonished, his face turned deathly pale as he smiled. I wouldn't have thought that I, the seventh assassin, would die by your hands. Today, I failed because I wasn't strong enough. I needed more time. Seventh assassin. Lin Feng was surprised, the seventh assassin. He was already so strong. I am not an enemy of the Imperial Assassin Union and I am not strong or talented. Why does the Imperial Assassin Union want to kill me? Asked Lin Feng coldly. Because you must die, said the assassin laughing in a cold way. I didn't manage to kill the Phoenix girl today, but there are 6 more assassins who they are stronger than me, especially the first one. You cannot even imagine, you guys stand no chance. You are just stepping stones for us. Slash. Lin Feng slit his throat and his head flew away. Difficult enemy, said Feng Xian arriving next to Lin Feng. She had already recovered, surprising Lin Feng. Thank you, said Feng Xian. They also wanted to kill me, so there's no need to thank me, said Lin Feng. Why had the assassin said he had to die? Was it because he had seen them when they tried to kill Shui Baiyao? No matter what, if you hadn't appeared today, I might have died. Even though that guy was only the 7th assassin, he understood several types of intent and strength. He had many skills and techniques, he even understood acceleration, deceleration, gold, and empty space energies. Those assassins are terrifying, said Feng Xian. She had an ancient phoenix body, but it alone wasn't enough to contend against them. Acceleration and deceleration energies, whispered Lin Feng. A moment before, the assassin had shouted, slow down, and his arrow had been slowed down. That must have been deceleration intent. If a cultivator understood deceleration abstruse energies, he would be able to freeze opponents and kill them mid-air. Lin Feng turned around and gazed into the distance. Thank you very much for your help, if you ever feel like it, you can show yourself for me. No reply. The Watcher was almost like a god watching him from the sky. I suppose you're the first one the Watchers protect, I wonder how strong you'll become in the future, said Feng Xian staring at Lin Feng. Being protected by the Watchers meant that a cultivator was going to become gloriously strong. No matter who wanted to kill Lin Feng, they had to think twice before trying, for there was a mysterious Watcher protecting him. Chapter 1169, Terrifying Thunder Heart. Who knows what will happen in the future, said Lin Feng smiling indifferently. Feng Xian took out a stone which contained vitality strength. Feng Xian put it in her mouth and chewed it. Then, her vitality started flowing throughout her body. Feng Xian saw that Lin Feng looked intrigued, so she said, that's an abstruse energy vitality tablet that I found in the ancient cities. That kind of tablet is different from abstruse crystals. You can use abstruse crystal to understand abstruse energies and practice cultivation, while tablets can be modified or swallowed directly to enable cultivators to sense abstruse energies. Lin Feng's could guess that those abstruse tablets were probably even more expensive than abstruse crystals. He had seen the powerful young man take the fire stone, so that must have been a tablet. He had broken it though, unlike Feng Xian who had swallowed it. If you reach the top of your intent level, chewing abstruse tablets can be really helpful, it can even help you understand abstruse energies, said Feng Xian. She had completely recovered already and her vitality was powerful. Maybe, if Feng Xian understood abstruse vitality, it'd be impossible to injure her. Then she might be able to increase her own lifespan. When we were outside of the 5 elemental areas, I saw that there was a source of life in the sky map, maybe that you can go there. Lin Feng mentioned. Feng Xian had an ancient phoenix body, which meant that she understood fire and vitality energies, maybe even other types too. For Feng Xian, the source of life was very important. I will, but the source of life is holy water. It can make people come back to life, but it's not easy to find. Besides, the map we saw outside was simple to understand, but it's not really that easy to find those things. Apart from the source of life, there were other places to mention. Sister Xian, said someone in the distance. A girl wearing a fire robe ran over to Feng Xian. She looked easygoing and quite young, only 15 to 16 years old. She was already extremely beautiful, to the extent that she could make fish sink and birds chirp up. Ling, said Feng Xian. She shook her head and said. Who let you come? The teachers let me. Why wouldn't I be allowed since you're going, said Feng Ling giggling. She looked at Lin Feng with her beautiful eyes and said, Sister, is he your? Stop it, said Feng Xian. She glanced at Lin Feng and said, Lin Feng, that's my little sister, Feng Ling. I'm sure many people are crazy about you girls, said Lin Feng honestly. 2 years later, her sister would catch up with Feng Xian. Besides, Feng Ling was still young and had managed to come to that place on her own. That meant she was already quite strong. Lin Feng, said Feng Ling giggling. Then she said, you should know that many people want to go out with my sister. Lin Feng smiled wryly. She had a completely different personality from her sister. At that moment, cold lights appeared in Lin Feng's eyes, but then he laughed and said, I have something to do. I'm off. He nodded at the two girls and ran over to the shrine. That guy doesn't seem to have any special feelings for women, it seems. He doesn't even know how to protect flowers, said Feng Ling when she saw that Lin Feng leaving so suddenly. Feng Xian rolled her eyes. Why did Lin Feng leave that quickly though? Lin Feng arrived in the shrine and condensed the Thunderbird's image in his brain. Then he transmitted it to the old man. Send me to him, but I want to be 10 kilometers away from Hyde and for you to hide my qi, including the vitality my seeds contain. Lin Feng didn't care about fate seeds that much anymore, he just wanted to become stronger. Bzzz. Lin Feng disappeared and appeared in a thunder area where terrifying thunders were booming everywhere. There were incredible thunder beasts as well. In front of that beast was a thunder pearl. That thunder pearl was releasing incredible thunders which solely might have been responsible for forming the entire thunder place. Sometimes, thunder tablets even emerged from that pearl. What a precious treasure, thought Lin Feng. He had found that place thanks to the thunder beast. At that moment, his qi couldn't be detected thanks to the shrine. He also used his shadow spirit, so he was completely undetectable. Someone neared the pearl and they were bathing in thunders, as if they didn't hurt him. It's not a thunder tablet anymore, it is now a pearl that can give birth to thunder tablets, said someone sighing. Thunder Beast, what are you waiting for? Asked that person. The Thunder Beast turned around and coldly glanced at him saying, I'm waiting for more thunder tablets and then I'll swallow that pearl. Anyone who tries to steal it from me will die. His eyes were purple. Swallow them? Asked that person surprised. The Thunder Beast nodded and said, indeed, that's Zune level beast's heart. I'm lucky that I found it first. With it, I'll swallow it and I'll break through to the Zune Qi layer. Now, protect the entrance and don't let anyone come in, said the beast. Don't worry, after I swallow that pearl, I'll give you 10 thunder tablets each, and even if I don't break through to the Zune Qi layer, I'll be at the very top of the Tian Qi layer, so I'll protect you, said the beast. His qi was dashing to the skies. He had broken through to the 8th Tian Qi layer, but since he was a Thunderbird, that heart was perfect for him. If I protect you now, I think you'll kill me, said that person. He wasn't as strong as the Thunderbird, besides the Thunderbird probably had other powerful weapons. He couldn't steal anything so he could just guard the area and accept a few tablets. I, the great Thunderbird, don't lie. I don't care about a few tablets anyways, so will you accept or not? Thunders were emerging from his body and he looked like a thunder god. That person narrowed his eyes, remained silent for a few seconds and nodded, all right, I'll guard the area." Then, he left. "Remember, kill anyone who tries to come in. If someone disturbs me, I'll kill you all," said the Thunderbird. The other one grinded his teeth but said nothing. After he left, the Thunderbird created a thunder cage and sealed the space around the pearl. Lin Feng could see everything, though. That guy was extremely strong, but getting the Thunder Heart wouldn't be so easy. Lin Feng had seen it the last time with the Dragon Heart. But the Thunderbird wasn't ordinary. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't do anything hastily. If he had been able to defeat the Thunderbird easily, he would have attacked already instead of waiting there. There was also the one who was now guarding the area. The Thunderbird shook his hands and a picture scroll appeared. It alone swallowed an incredible quantity of thunder energies. Very quickly, the picture scroll fell onto the heart and swallowed the heart's incredible thunder strength. Then, the Thunderbird threw himself at the heart. He sat down and performed hand seals. Now he was bathing in incredible thunders, and thunders continuously struck his body. Roar! The Thunderbird roared and his purple hair fluttered in the wind. His chi had started to become even more powerful. He's using a special skill to increase his strength, thought Lin Feng. The Thunderbird was probably increasing his strength before attempting to swallow the heart, otherwise he wouldn't be able to. Chapter 1170, Sword's New Soul. The Thunderbird cut his hand with his other hand and blood dripped down onto the Thunder Heart. "Can you sense that? My blood is the same as yours, it's thunder-based blood," said the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird was slowly establishing his own connections to the heart, and the heart didn't look that scary anymore. At least it wasn't releasing explosive thunder anymore. It even started to rise up slowly and began moving towards the Thunderbird's mouth. "Who's that?" At that moment, the Thunderbird turned around as dazzling thunders emerged from his eyes. Kaboom! Roar! A dragon roared. The Thunderbird only saw 7 dragon heads move towards him and opened their mouths in an attempt to eat him. "Thunderscape!" shouted the Thunderbird furiously. The Thunderbird's hands turned into claws and attempted to grab the heart. He didn't understand that someone was secretly spying on him. Roar! The dragon roared again and another dragon head appeared. It moved towards the heart and immediately swallowed it. The Thunderbird who had attempted to grab it ended up grabbing air instead. Where did that dragon come from? Lacerate! The Thunderbird released bestial chi in a fury. His bestial chi turned into a thunder blade and he lacerated the air in front of him. "Come back!" shouted the Thunderbird furiously, but the dragon had disappeared. Mountain-like illusions appeared in the sky which seemed extremely heavy and were falling down. Die! The Thunderbird was going insane. He instantly broke all those mountains and rose up in the air. He saw the silhouette of someone running away. It must have been the one who had stolen his heart. "You'll die." The Thunderbird instantly recognized Lin Feng. He opened his purple wings and chased Lin Feng. However, a dazzling sword appeared under Lin Feng's feet and he quickly disappeared into the distance. "Stop him!" shouted the Thunderbird furiously. Lin Feng was still flying away, however, the cultivator who was guarding the place looked at Lin Feng in a strange way. Someone had actually stolen the heart from the Thunderbird, he had to be extremely strong. "Die!" said that person furiously while releasing thunderous energies in Lin Feng's direction. However, Lin Feng didn't dodge. Instead, his Tianji sword spat out its own thunders and crushed the oncoming thunders. "Curse!" shouted Lin Feng in a deep voice. Black cursing energies appeared and crashed onto that guy. "Soul cursing," said Lin Feng. He was standing next to that person when he released those cursing energies. That person's body and soul started shaking, his face also turned deathly pale. He moved away, he didn't feel like blocking Lin Feng anymore. "Die!" But the curse had been cast and Lin Feng wouldn't let him off. He took out his halberd and cut that person's body. Blood splashed everywhere as Lin Feng's Tianji sword then continued streaking across the sky. By the time the Thunderbird arrived, the guard was already dead. The Thunderbird sensed some black energies, but he didn't know what they were. They made him feel cold. "I'll kill you. I'll find a way," shouted the Thunderbird furiously. He flapped his wings again. He was tired right then. He had used a special power to get the heart because he wanted to do it as fast as possible, but he had failed. That was the second time that Lin Feng had escaped from him. The Thunderbird moved in the direction of the shrine with his fastest speed. He wanted to kill Lin Feng no matter what. Lin Feng wasn't afraid. If he had been afraid, he wouldn't have taken the risk to go and steal the Thunderbird's heart in the first place. Even though the Thunderbird was at the same level as the guy Lin Feng had just killed, he was a lot stronger. Lin Feng couldn't kill him yet, so after taking the heart, he also went to the shrine. He didn't know if he could modify it or not and needed some time. In the shrine, Lin Feng asked for another 100 days in a calm place. Now in the air, Lin Feng's dragon appeared and the head which had swallowed the heart spat it out. It was calm because the Thunderbird had absorbed most of its energy. If the Thunderbird hadn't done that, Lin Feng wouldn't have been able to take it away like that. Lin Feng released dazzling purple thunders and assaulted the heart. Kacha, boom boom boom, dazzling thunders struck the heart with an explosive power. The sky was shaking and the calm area suddenly turned into a thunder area. Lin Feng sat down cross-legged and observed the energies. At the same time, his Tianji sword was whistling and had turned into a gigantic sword which rose up in the air and swallowed those terrifying thunders. Lin Feng practiced cultivation diligently with this time he had purchased. Lin Feng now had level 8 thunder intent and his Tianji sword was becoming stronger. These days, the heart had even given birth to some thunder tablets. Lin Feng swallowed the tablets immediately. Lin Feng had the 9-headed dragon spirit, so after breaking through to the Zun Qi layer, he would use his spirit and create blood strength. It was only a matter of time. Lin Feng already had a special power and he could swallow strength, therefore he swallowed those tablets without hesitation. As expected, after swallowing the tablets, Lin Feng realized that the sensation was completely different from when he had used abstruse crystals. He could sense abstruse energies as if they were part of him. His abstruse strength and intent continued changing. His thunder intent was explosive and quite terrifying. With acceleration intent he would appear to move faster, and deceleration intent could seemingly slow down his opponents. But with abstruse energies, it was real, he could actually speed up and slow down things. Lin Feng had seen his fellow disciple use decay energies and could actually age people. Abstruse energies could kill people almost instantly if used properly. Bzzz, at that moment, Lin Feng's soul shook. His Tianji sword also shook violently as it emitted sharp whistling sounds. In just 9 days, the sword had swallowed all the thunderous energies. "Is it going to have its very own soul?" whispered Lin Feng. Suddenly, the Tianji sword dazzled and the heart was absorbed by the sword. The sword's soul condensed it and then that heart gave a new life to the sword. Chapter 1171, Fighting Against the Thunderbird Again. Lin Feng's sword was like an animal with the heart of a thunder animal. Lin Feng shivered and closed his eyes again. He calmly sensed the energies from the abstruse tablets he had just taken. If his sword finished condensing its soul, it would have an explosive power. But Lin Feng had to remain stronger than his sword to use it properly. His ultimate goal was, apart from making his sword a peerless and sharp sword, to understand abstruse energies better than anyone else. On the 19th day, dazzling thunders dashed to the skies and purple lights broke through the heavens. His Tianji sword very active with a seemingly infinite amount of thunders surrounding it. The sword had finished consuming the heart now. "I wouldn't have thought that the first abstruse energies I'd study would be thunder abstruse energies," whispered Lin Feng. He had swallowed 3 tablets of abstruse energies and now his thunder intent was now level 9. Since his sword had a thunder soul, the first abstruse energy he'd understand would probably be thunder abstruse energy. His Tianji sword streaked across the skies and landed in Lin Feng's hand. It was buzzing, like it was trying to communicate with Lin Feng. Even though Lin Feng had several holy weapons, the relationship he had with the Tianji sword was the most intimate. The Tianji sword's soul was born thanks to Lin Feng's very own soul. Unless Lin Feng died, nobody could steal his sword. Lin Feng thought about Gan Yu and Tianqi. Tianqi had been so nice to him. Someday, Lin Feng would make the sword become a peerless weapon in the world. He would amaze the entire world with it. His Tianji sword rose up in the air again and Lin Feng wanted to give the sword a second soul. But first, he had to clean the other soul fragments still present in the sword, just as before. 10 days later, Lin Feng came out of the world. The old man smiled at him and said, "Someone paid to force you out." Lin Feng had prepared himself for this already. He had another pair of eyes which allowed him to see the Thunderbird at all times. When the old man shook his hand to teleport him, Lin Feng was already condensing forces. Bzzz. Lin Feng landed in another place. The Thunderbird was surprised, turned around and saw a terrifying lightning strike move towards him. The atmosphere broke and a black hole had appeared. Thunderscape. The Thunderbird released thunderous energies which turned into a thunder shield. Kaboom! The purple energies crashed onto the thunder shield and instantly broke it. A terrifying strength crashed onto the Thunderbird and he groaned with pain, blood splashing out of his mouth. Lin Feng's attacks were explosive. His shield was broken and even though he had an incredibly powerful physical body, he was still injured. Lin Feng's sword had actually injured him, he couldn't believe it. Die! Shouted Lin Feng in a deep voice. The Thunderbird reacted quickly. He was the descendant of an emperor, so he had many precious treasures and skill sets. Lin Feng initially wanted to prepare an attack to kill him, but the Thunderbird wasn't ready to die easily. The Tianji sword was swallowing sword energies at that time. The Thunderbird opened his wings and flapped, creating great winds to repel Lin Feng. But the sword continued chasing him and attacking him. How come? In only one day, his thunder energies became so powerful, thought the Thunderbird. That Tianji sword could release its own incredible thunder energies. The Thunderbird couldn't afford any careless movements. The first time he had fought against Lin Feng, he had only broken through to the 5th Tianqi layer and wasn't that powerful. How could he know that Lin Feng had been struck by thunder millions of times and had swallowed several thunder abstruse tablets? How could he know that Lin Feng had given his thunder heart to the sword as well? Bzzz. Thunders continued to strike him, suppressing the Thunderbird's movements. An arrow containing fire and thunder energies then streaked across the sky. The Thunderbird released an infinite amount of golden and purple energies. At the same time, a thunder drum appeared in his hand. Kaboom! The Thunderbird hit the drum with his fist and waves of energies assaulted the arrow. A thunder holy weapon. Lin Feng was surprised. The Thunderbird was a thunder beast, so when he used a thunder holy weapon, his power was even more explosive than a normal cultivator's. It was the same as when he used his Tianji sword. The Tianji sword kept chasing the Thunderbird, and at the same time, Lin Feng continued shooting arrows one after the other. Even though the Thunderbird was using his drum, his movements were a bit chaotic because he was so furious. Roar! The Thunderbird roared again and turned into a golden Thunderbird. His claws were now hitting the drum and the drum's energies were stronger. The space between the Thunderbird and Lin Feng seemed like it was going to collapse as dust was splashing everywhere. Even the ground was riddled with gaping wounds. Their attacks were already as powerful as the attacks of some Zun cultivators. People in the distance were amazed. Their battle drew many people's attention. 4-5 people came and watched the battle, but when they saw Lin Feng, they were dumbfounded. It was the same guy who had several holy weapons, but he didn't have blue fate seeds anymore. He had probably used them by now. Fight in a fair way if you have balls. The Thunderbird was trying to swing the fight into his favor. The Tianji sword and the bow were way too powerful. He felt like the battle wasn't fair anymore. What you mean to say is that you want to restrict your cultivation level to the 6th Tian Qi layer and fight me? I don't mind at all, said Lin Feng smiling. Was that what the Thunderbird meant by fairness? If the Thunderbird was of the same level as him, Lin Feng would be absolutely fearless. Celestial thunder, destruction body, shouted the Thunderbird furiously. In a flash, thunders rolled in waves in the sky and gigantic black clouds appeared. The earth and sky became painstakingly pale. That guy isn't strong enough with so many holy weapons, now he's going to be killed by the Thunderbird. Should we attack and steal his holy weapons? Asked someone greedily while looking at the bow. He was scared to attack alone though. Lin Feng might shoot arrows at him and immediately kill him. Right, but if we kill him now, how will we share the weapons? Nobody was compassionate there, they were all there to benefit from as many things as they could. Kaboom! The Thunderbird was absorbing a monstrous quantity of thunders that he wanted to crush Lin Feng with. Lin Feng couldn't dodge that attack, but of course, he didn't want to dodge either. Die! At the same time, the others threw themselves at Lin Feng. They wanted to kill him and steal his weapons before the Thunderbird got them all. Kaboom! A terrifying amount of thunderous energies crashed onto Lin Feng's body and singed his hairs. One of them raised their golden fist, wanting to grab Lin Feng's bow. Bzzz. The bow disappeared and Lin Feng's halberd appeared instead. It shook and moved towards the hand of the one who originally wanted to steal Lin Feng's bow. He had thought that when Lin Feng was struck with the thunderous energies, even if he didn't die, he would at least be paralyzed. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng wouldn't be affected by thunders at all. They were already so close to each other that cultivators couldn't dodge Lin Feng's halberd anymore. Suddenly, the halberd ended up in that cultivator's throat and they died. Curse, said Lin Feng suddenly turning around. He released cursing energies at his enemies. Destroy. Lin Feng pulled back his halberd and released sharp, blade-like energies at another opponent. A few hundreds of thousands of gems moved to Lin Feng's third eye. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.